having economic development people in there than maybe the cities, because none of our cities got it in Iowa County, I guess.
Yeah.
They did?
Did they not apply for it?
I'm
All you have to
pretty
do
sure
is,
they did.
I mean, it's a lot to apply for, but if you apply for it, they should have done it, because there was a breakdown of each city and how much they were
Qualified
qualified.
for it, all they had to do is apply for it.
I don't know, I was told that they didn't, but I'll double check that.
Williamsburg did.
I'm pretty sure
I thought
they
they
did.
did.
So I saw the article in the paper and I thought, what's this?
Right,
And I sent it to somebody in the city council, I said, are you guys doing this?
yeah,
And Nikki thought they were, you couldn't tell from the article it was actually part of the American Rescue Plan,
right,
but it is.
yes.
And Nikki said she'd done the paperwork on that, so I assume they're
Sure.
getting some money.
I would assume they did too, but I mean, this
It's
is
a
county
process.
money, not city
It's a
money.
process to get it, but each city should have gotten,
Okay,
if they
good.
went
Maybe
through it.
They don't
They
deny
should-
anybody.
Someone who was like, none of the city, none of our
They
cities.
jump through
got
the
it.
hoops, they don't deny anybody.
Yeah, because, I don't remember what Ladora was eligible for, but it
Right.
was a good chunk.
Okay, good, okay.
So they just,
Yeah, if
And
you
then
don't
we
use
were
it.
city, but either way, we should probably have a group of people that
yeah.
discuss, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
Kate
sort of
Robertson
advise.
would be really good
I don't
about,
wanna cross over city to county.
Right,
Yeah,
I don't think we
yeah.
need city people tell us how, we're not telling
No,
them how to
Because
spend
they
it.
should have their own pool to spend.
if they have their own, yes, then, yeah, I'll
No,
double check.
they should have their own to spend.
What do you mean?
If they apply for it, they get it.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
okay,
it's not an if, that's their job.
okay,
So,
anyways,
sure.
like Kate Robertson, people like that would be good to know a little bit more about our needs and how would best
Okay.
return.
What are other counties doing?
They're setting up groups and things like that, and I talked with, our treasurer, and she said, that she wanted to know if we could put it into a CD, so it'd be better to have a plan. When are we gonna spend this, what are we gonna do with it, because if she can put it on a CD, then we can get more interest on it. If we knew we weren't gonna spend it till 2023 or whatever, that would be good for her to know, so that way we can be getting more interest on it. So, little things like that, that's what kinda got my mind ticking, that we should be
Does it
planning.
have to be spent by a certain amount of time then?
Well, 24,
Okay.
December of 24,
What's the amount again?
3 million.
3 million. We got 1.5 now, what she has in the bank,
It's in the
collecting
bank.
interest,
Right.
but then we have another 1.5 coming
This
fall.
I think so.
fall, yeah.
So what are we leaving with this? Are we gonna, I mean, what's, John and Kevin, what's your intent with it? How are we gonna proceed with it? How should we move forward with it? What are your thoughts?
We have a meeting at 5 right now. I mean,
The
that's.
board, I
Yeah.
understand,
I mean,
but
and it's-
is there anything that we're wanting to, thought about anything we're wanting to apply towards or put towards?
Well, that's what I think that's kind of what your job is to come up with things. I thought we discussed that a couple weeks ago when we said that, you know, if you reach out to people and find out where needs are and then see where we are on the guidelines, what falls into that.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of things that's not gonna make the cut.
Right, because I've had lots of people jump me that, hey, we can do this, and I say, yeah, no, that doesn't follow the guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
And so, that's the key, is finding out things that we can and pursuing things that we should do with it.
So,
Because it's a one-time pool. And
I have nothing yet for it, I was just curious if either one of you have anything for it yet.
well, I mean, there's things out there that people have jumped us about,
Like what?
like, emergency management as planned.
Was
Like,
planning for what?
we've talked about, maybe, jail as
Well,
insurance, that we can address through it.
I understand.
But there's nothing concrete yet on anything.
Well, but should maybe discussing that, all of us?
Well, yeah, but not enough, I mean, they're just ideas right now,
You know what I meant?
so.
You know what I meant?
But we can't
I
discuss
know.
ideas?
We're on the same.
Like, what's, I'm just curious more in detail, what are you thinking, like what, you obviously have ideas, I just wanna know what they are, not vague.
That we have a kitchen issue
Yeah,
in the jail, that
Yeah.
I think it would be huge. Because we have a 100-year-old or 150-year-old kitchen that we're using, and that would fall into the guidelines.
it would.
Yeah, according to what I've read so far. I've been looking into it to see if there's something that we address that never-ending money pit.
Yeah,
I think there's issues with, when we had to get the trailer out of the fire station, where we're gonna house that emergency management trailer.
which that building is gonna be relocated, isn't that what the deal?
We have to find a place to put it. We have a temporary place free just
The lease.
to put it,
Yeah,
but other than that, we have nothing, so.
so Josh is finding land to put that
Well, he's
building.
looking into options
Okay.
on what is possible.
Okay,
There's nothing concrete on anything,
but
but he is looking into,
you're saying that would be another
Alternative,
option,
yes.
is to buy land to put that building up?
Yep.
Okay, I just wanna know, I just
and not,
wanna know what.
It'd be nice
we've had people approach us that would be willing to do things.
It'd be nice to do projects such like that, but we wouldn't have to raise taxes for it, that we know no other way have money to do.
Right.
I don't wanna do something that would be a pipe dream that,
Right, or unnecessary things.
That we'd have to
I mean,
keep
it
supporting it after the
Right.
financing's gone.
Right.
if we have
Yeah.
a facility that's in bad shape and we need to replace it, now would be the time to utilize some of that money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I get that, but we just wanna have this conversation, I wanna know what you guys are
I
thinking, you
wanna
guys
know
have
what you guys are
ideas,
thinking,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's why I said 3 weeks ago that, we all needed to be thinking of, because everybody has constituents that contact them about things that are what people would like.
You're not gonna make everybody happy.
No, and
Because
that's not our,
most people won't understand the jail situation.
right,
Yeah, which I understand the jail.
which that's a huge situation.
Yeah, because that's gonna fail an
and you-
inspection at some point.
Right.
Yeah,
And then what?
and we make, with the amount of prisoners that we have federal, I mean, that's a,
You put a nice one up, it could be emergency situation for the city, so if you have a bad storm, that was
Something
something
comes
alive,
through.
you could feed people.
Mhm.
yeah, so that's an alternative that you can do, it's a commercial application,
So that's how you get by with the funds.
using the funds that,
Like taking down that building and putting it there yet? Is that what is kind of the idea,
well,
or?
we own the lot across the street too,
Yeah,
we could kick the engineer out, we own that.
yeah,
Build me a great big building.
Build me a big building.
you want Taj Mahal?
Or knock the wheels off a different one.
Exactly.
Ouch, I'm pretty sure that one came in on wheels,
That's where I was going with that.
Yeah.
so. Alright, Nick, you're up.
There's a couple of signs for Dayton and English.
Okay.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3.
You could add 185th and S on that one if you want. The T sign, the T intersection where it shows he goes both ways.
Yeah, that's what one of them is.
Oh, yeah.
It just looks like, well, it's in Dayton, but it just looks like it's been mangled.
This one's off in the other ditch. I don't, it's like way over.
Oh, what road?
Oh, 185th and S, our road where it,
Oh,
another road T's on it. I don't know, it's kind of weird.
That's right, it is.
Makes it interesting for somebody to come about.
alright, you ready for these, Nick?
Yep.
First one is New Century. Is the one, did they email there? No. What is this?
Yeah, there's one that's emailed.
$1.
Yeah.
Okay,
You can read that.
$1.99 per gallon and 20 cents above the daily spot price.
$1.19.
Or $1.19, sorry. Yes,
Okay.
those are really close to the 99.
Yeah.
1.199 to be precise. And then 20 cents above the cost daily spot price for the option 2. And multi-county oil. We don't have Lyle here anymore, he retired.
I didn't even know that. Is LB Moss or?
Ellen doesn't know, yep. And first one was New Century FS.
$1.19.
$1.19.
They didn't do option two?
He did not do anything on option two. And why do we have another one from New Century?
Which one's better?
I don't know, they came in yesterday and were on my desk. Maybe they just wanna make sure the first one came in on time.
I think this is different, cause this is Summerfield.
Maybe that's an invoice.
Yeah, total due.
She,
Would you like to vote on the invoice or no?
yeah, it's not paid up.
Is that correct?
It says LB contract enclosed, LP.
It has total due.
I don't know what that is.
I don't see it. That's all that was in there.
This is for residential, maybe we're just on a,
Is there something missing? Maybe they just stamped it wrong or used the wrong envelope. There's, doesn't seem to be anything in there. Okay.
So,
New Century, has been a little bit the last 2 or 3 years.
Yep.
Last year it was 84 cents. Year before, 98.
a motion to approve New Century FS.
$1.19.
$1.19.
All those in favor say aye.
Uh,
All those opposed, same sign. New Century it is.
I think this is probably just a spam mail.
Are those to Brandy, please?
Brandy.
Brandy.
V66, it's striped, and then putting on the shoulder rock. I will not get done today, probably finish up Monday.
Oh, we got a compliment just this morning, I called in, he goes, the only bad thing is, it's good, oh, a good thing is it raises county revenue, because you really can speed on it now.
So before it was too bumpy, and now it's too smooth,
It is nice.
it is nice.
so. Yeah, you go fast, can't you?
Did you send out the agenda?
It's kind of a shock to you though when you
I
try.
didn't get it.
You
It
didn't-
must be lost in cyberspace, I'll make sure.
But we've been hacked, is that?
Yeah, yeah,
I'll quit looking for it.
I, spent a lot of time on the phone.
Does anybody else need one?
Sorry, I'll send that over too.
I can make a
apologize.
copy. Thank you.
The bridge, they didn't come in this week, they will start Monday. Even if they don't come in Monday, working days will start Monday, so that is the late start date. And F67 grinding, they got pulled away a couple weeks ago, they were supposed to start, they ended up doing something for the DOT, like on 80 or something like that, so I'm sure that's a lot more money, and our late start date's not for a couple more weeks, so.
How long will that take them to start roughly?
I believe that they probably have like 2 months. I don't know if it'll take them that long. Sounds like they're bringing in 2 machines, but, I mean, it will take a fair amount of time. You go 4 feet wide at a time, and you go about, what, 1 mile an
How
hour?
many miles they have to do?
About 5? About 5. You don't go, maybe it's like a half, you know, it's really slow. So, but V66, that will be done shortly. And I also forgot, I do have I'll bring it over next time. I do have a core that, if you guys wanna see what an asphalt core sample looks like, if you've never seen a core sample. So, I can bring it over later or next week, it doesn't matter, but it's kinda cool if you haven't seen it. Our guys, this week, been working on T Avenue and 110. 110 to be the farm to market up north, and they're regrading kind of that intersection. And, any work, you know, that we can help out up there, from this district is well needed, because that, the 110 consumes a lot of time and rock, so. John was ditching, still is, and Dave was working on a culvert on OK. We have been running that total patcher quite a bit, so that's good. And there's out on, Hartwick Road today, doing that. I have got some questions of how Sheet County's doing up to the county line. I did not have them go into Iowa County. I did not wanna do that, so. It's fairly decent shape, and that would take like a year's worth of FM money, so that would be our project for the year, and I don't think that road constitutes, more attention than say H Avenue or M Avenue right now, so. That's also the same reason why we did not go south of Butler Hill, a half mile or mile.
Yeah.
We've got a couple people that jumped me and said, actually, the ride's pretty good, and I was not gonna take up all that funding when we have to do livers.
It's
Yeah.
not bad.
No.
No.
And grading, and your dust control will come in sometime around August 6th. That's that's usually, so give or take that's a Friday, so give or take the week after or the week before. They'll probably have to be prepped a little bit, but I also know that, somebody called in this week and, you know, still having a little trouble finding their, chemicals to put down and stuff, so. That's usually when it is.
It hasn't lasted very well this year.
What's that?
Some dust control hasn't lasted very well this year.
Yeah, I think, you know, also by the time they got putting it down, it was very dry,
Right.
very dry. It's hard to put it down when it's that
We
dry.
get that 3.5 inches out of running good depth.
You should,
Mhm.
it's like grading, I think you wanna do it a day or two after it kinda rains and stuff. And the steel for our bridges that we will be doing has arrived. So, we're also altering some plans so that we can get that bid, finishing the plans, altering some of the previous ones, so that we can get a contractor to come in and do, and then have Willie, whatever his name was, you know, we'll move the one around. So we can get that out and do that sometime this winter. And then I was out a couple days, so the guys pretty much, a lot of the project inspection, that was doing the design work, and then a lot of stuff also, got loaded up to Dock Express for the DOT, so they stayed pretty busy doing that. Are you guys going to the ISAC meeting? Is that the state ISAC stuff? Do you guys usually go to that?
Some of it I usually do, but it depends on.
I've never gone. So with that old Transportation Act kind of coming down though too.
They'll probably have some good.
Yeah, so I'm thinking I might go as much as I don't.
Sometimes some of their seminars sound like they're gonna be great, and then you get there and you're like.
Oh, yeah.
That's a waste.
No.
Oh, yeah, same way, that's how any conference is. That's why I usually never gone, I feel like, but also I think I'm one of the few engineers that doesn't go. I always kind of get a little,
Great.
so, I will be looking into that. I think it's recommended that I go, but
Thank you.
just wanted to let you guys know if I have to miss a board, I don't know when it is.
August 26th,
Yeah.
27th.
Yeah, so that's probably a board meeting, I'm not sure, but I didn't know.
Usually that's why we skip out on the last day always. Cause they seem
We'll
to
get
have, some of us do, some of us,
We'll get it figured out.
some of our people stay for the Friday, cause that's when they're.
Cause Alan, you're doing the certified thing, right? Cause that's the, Friday is the certified
Right.
networking event.
I believe so.
Which is fine.
Are you guys going to Wednesday, Thursday?
I haven't seen what the schedule is, I haven't paid attention to it yet to see what.
Just to let you know, it's something I don't usually go to, but I might have to, or might start, or might,
It's a hit and miss. Some people it's just a vacation, other people it's, some are good, some aren't so good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's
it's
ended up
not
going,
going.
I've been really frustrated that,
It was like a total.
I was like, what the hell was that?
Remember the schooling thing in Cedar Rapids? That
Yes.
was so stupid.
Does it have a cost on it? What does it cost?
It's on the sheet, it's not terribly expensive, but yeah. So like I know treasurer, auditor, those, they have really good seminars for them sometimes.
Sometimes they're not as good as you think.
Yeah, it's very hit and miss, and I've drug Ray and Kevin before to try to get it, cause I thought they were in there, it was like nothing. Cause you wanna learn something, or,
Yeah.
so you
Well,
can do a better job, and then it
A
was.
lot of it though too is it's the communicating with the other engineers
Yes,
after the
and that's
class.
better, yes,
And, you know, that's not a lot, I get that, I still,
and some of it's a rah-rah session.
but just to let you know, I
Yep.
might choose or have to go with that.
Carefully, you might get elected.
Yeah.
That's how that happens. Get on a committee.
So, that's what, we've been doing, I think we're gonna start up on Marie's Road there sometime shortly. And
Maybe.
narrow that up.
Is that what you call it, Mary's Road?
Yeah. Oh, and that's all I've ever heard it called.
It should be married, it's been always been married.
Mary Slaymaker.
Abby.
So a lot of total patcher, lately it's been going on, which is really good. I've been shut out a hole or two for a while. So we only got so much good weather for that.
How's the weed mowing going?
The weed,
Ditch mowing?
ditch mowing, I haven't stayed up to par with that. I know that our, summer help.
Have we come up with a cost on that? I mean, what our ditch mowing program is, since some counties aren't doing it at all anymore,
Well,
if it's worthwhile.
to do it,
Yeah.
well, right now, we only have, 2 summer help doing it. Sometimes when, say it's too, dry, it's drag, then the motor graders will go out and do it themselves. So I don't know if you wanna put a cost to it, because
No,
I usually give them free reign over their territory.
Right.
If you think it's
Yeah, if they've got
beneficial
an
for you to
intersection that they
mow,
wanna mow, or, yeah.
and they kinda like to do it sometimes, so that for other reasons, cutting the grass, keep,
Keeping their benches out, I mean.
so this year we have 2, Jim's mowing the pave and Cracker is helping out where he can, so I think a minimum 2 is definitely A-okay. We just did not rent the tractor and
Okay.
we couldn't find another summer help. That was part of it.
Cause I think it'd help a lot to get mowed back for winter. That's good. For
Yeah,
snow.
see, like a lot of them do that, and so like a lot of them will do their own territory when it's dry. But, if you wanna, well, we couldn't find the summer help anyway, but, to rent another tractor and,
I thought Bubba was on too, you know, so.
yeah, but he's more or less helping Dave and,
Spraying.
yeah.
Yep.
Which Dave has done a lot better, or
Yeah,
the results are doing really good.
yeah, the grass is.
He's helping out there, and then some flagging, he's more of the labor. type
Floater.
of- yeah.
I did have somebody jump me at the fair on Q Avenue about if there should be speed limit signs on that.
You don't,
Boulevard.
you don't put speed limit signs up for 55.
I just said I would bring it up to the
Yeah.
engineer, that's my job.
You can, if you guys want, you guys can make a resolution to have it lowered.
Roger warned,
Huh?
Roger said that, you know, with it chip and seal, I mean, people.
So Johnson County has tons and tons of
Right.
miles. There's no speed limit there on any chip seal. But if you guys want to, that's your power, is to, and actually, I think you're gonna have a very hard time using the Iowa code to get that down lower, because it doesn't meet a,
What road?
Holden's Road. Q Boulevard. Cause it's, you know, basically paved, and so,
Yeah.
you know, tend to go a little faster on it, which,
And that expense for that this year's like 40,000.
we get reimbursed.
They get reimbursed, yeah, that's what I thought, but that's how much it costs to maintain it, right?
That's what it costs to me, every year.
Every
So
year,
they do
yeah.
about a third of it a year-ish.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just, like, if you let one talk about getting their road seal coated.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's,
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago when, those were some of the numbers that we had used to
Do you-
get all those.
do you let anybody asphalt in front of their place?
Asphalt?
Well, what's the alternative between chip and seal?
Gravel.
Is there a happy medium anywhere?
Between gravel and chip seal?
Yeah, I have my neighbor that has 3 or 4 places that was something other than something more permanent.
More permanent, you're looking at asphalt.
Right.
What do they use in Benton County that they also spray oil? What is it that they use over there, do you know?
For their dust control?
Yeah,
Yeah, any type of oil, I don't.
it's an oil and a sand.
For dust control, or that is on a paved road?
Yeah, it's on a paved road.
No. Watkins Road, I drive it every day. I get the address. I can call him up too.
They're putting sand down
It
on
looks like a stand on top of it,
It must be some kind of tar then.
yeah. But you're saying there's no in between for dust control, chip and seal versus,
Yeah, you know, it's mobile, he wants,
Well-
because he wants to do his mom's place and then he's got those 2, 3 other places and he's like, instead of throwing money away every year on,
Right.
would you allow it?
Would I allow him to put down asphalt? The same rules would apply. If it goes bad, we don't maintain it. Or,
What's the spec on it, I mean,
It'd be
I know on Gayhenheimer Road, just south of me, or north of me, that one place has it on there.
I'm not sure if you wanna get into that or not.
yeah,
I don't know, I'm just saying,
and I don't know, is that really asphalt, or is that just years and years and years of seal coat too?
I don't know.
We've got a pretty good base.
What's
from
happening?
having years and
Like
years.
south of Hostetler's down there, or south of Y Avenue, I think I don't know what they have, that's been there for a long time too.
Yeah, I mean, I know that if you were to do like a seal coat, do it right, and then reapply every lot, that gets really super hard. I know with dust controls, you can put down your oil, and then Benton County has mixed in some asphalt chips lately, and I'm completely down with that.
Okay.
Definitely, I've never heard of sand on
Is
a
that-
gravel
well,
road.
I could be mistaken, but, I'm not still.
Benton County, a lot on their paved roads, puts down an oil and then a sand sealer on top,
Right.
on paved.
Okay. I'll make a point to stop and look at it.
Or if you can just shoot me the address too, I can
If
always.
it's a Watkins Road, just ask the engineer.
Yeah, it is.
Nick can ask the engineer. Just food for thought, cause I mean, especially the last couple of years in the dust control, people have been, they want,
Our driveway by our house is all recycled asphalt chips, no dust. It's really, really hard to grade. once it dries.
Right, it gets hard as, yeah, that's what I put on my son's driveway, I mean,
Yeah,
it's perfect.
I think that's,
Doesn't wash, it doesn't,
What is it?
asphalt chips,
Where do
basically.
you get that from? Where do you get asphalt chips?
Pellets or TNT, I mean, anybody can get a hold of it, it's,
Oh, just ground up asphalt.
yeah.
You put an oil down and then you put that
Nope.
on?
No, it's old asphalt that's ground up.
but no, I did
Versus the
say,
ground
some people
versus-
right now are putting oil down with mixing
With
this
that.
in, yeah.
But if you call Pelling or anybody, they've got that, and you put it down and
You just
it's,
put it down on top of the gravel?
yep, yeah, and especially if you do it when it's hot, and
Really?
then you drive on, it'll pack and it's turned, yeah, it's like asphalt, and you're driving won't wash or anything, I mean,
But you
Would you roll it?
do
You
get
could roll it.
potholes,
huh?
you get potholes, it's, very hard to fix.
It won't stick to the pothole.
You
What,
can fill a pothole,
yeah, you can fill it, like, take our, they kinda neglected it for a couple years. He came in with a, grinding machine to lay it all back down, had to grind it. It was hard.
I was just like, we got a roller coming, I'm like, we should probably roll.
it works
do
really
that.
well in your driveway,
Yeah.
or in your lot if you have a big,
Make sure you talk to your engineer though first before you.
in your
And
driveway,
on my driveway.
Oh,
It's my driveway.
on the road.
stay in your lane,
Even if your
nobody
driveway,
cares what the engineer thinks, we've got 50 feet.
we have a full reach of everything, yeah, if you want. So. That's what we've been doing, it's, the road will be done soon, the bridge will be going,
So that-
pretty soon we're gonna start, actually, real soon, we're gonna start that box culvert that's coming in. And we're gonna, should be tiling sometime soon and grinding soon also.
I've had a few complaints north of me about the crown in the road, it's too much.
Too much.
I said, call me back with pictures.
Too much crowd?
Yes.
On the curve? Like the
No.
super?
No, just on the road. Where the road's narrow and,
On why?
I mean, no, over. Over in north, west and north.
Okay.
So, I said, send me pictures and then I'll forward those to you. They're gonna take a level out there and show me that there was 2 foot of crown. And I said, stop, and send me pictures. I don't, everybody's 3 foot of crown and I can't see over the hump. I'm like, I'm really short, so if I can see over it, I guarantee you. So, but, yeah, literally 2 foot of crown. So, I haven't driven it yet, but I'm waiting for the picture.
Which road?
Might be W, north. Where they ditched, I don't know if it's north of there. Just said they're on it with the semi and just around like that, but, yeah. They didn't wanna complain, but.
We did.
I don't wanna complain.
I don't wanna complain, but, as I said, just send me pictures and I'll forward them to you and then. So, we'll wait for
If
pictures.
the pictures haven't come, then you might not get them.
Right. So, we'll see.
Do you guys get the, anytime there is an insurance claim or whatever, there was one that a rock hit a windshield on each avenue, I don't know if you guys.
Recent. We didn't get a nightcap on.
I didn't get night.
Okay.
Usually,
Well,
usually we do if they turn
We
it in.
finally just got the complainants, all their claim stuff in the other day.
Okay.
I had submitted it to Dan a while ago, so,
I haven't gotten anything from my cap yet on it.
it wasn't our truck, it was your car going this way, a different truck going this way, but part of the road on H popped out, and hit a windshield. Oh,
So it was our fault because it was our road. We jumped up in the windshield.
so.
Take that road
I
out.
said I will,
Take that road out.
I will submit, and that is what I've done,
Yes.
so. you'll see
And we have
it.
to file it and then they'll turn it down and that's, keeps everybody in business.
What's the status of down the bottom to vacate the road?
Waiting on Johnson County, yeah. I'd asked him for 6 months in a row, and he found, what's your rush?
Is there a rush?
Clear Creek FFA advisor.
The non-engineers.
Was it just her or was her brother there?
Yes, sir.
Just her? Yep.
She wanted to assure me to tell you that she does do a lot of stuff while she's there.
She's very good. She does know all of her
I know, I
farm
said,
stuff.
I was talking to all the FFA, but we have 4 female FFA advisors in Iowa County. Between Clear Creek, HOE, and Waynesburg. It's pretty cool. I didn't either until I was meeting with all of them. And I'm like,
There's Becky.
incredible.
Thanks.
Okay, yep, have a good weekend.
Pretty cool. Thanks, Nick.
Yep.
He kept the seat warm for you. I said he kept the seat warm for you.
Yes, just what we want on a hot July day.
No charge.
Okay, you got my sheet that I emailed to you? Anybody have any questions about that?
No.
Yeah, everything's going well. We're getting ready for preschool to get going again, our school kids. Preparing to get them back in class. My class in A was exciting, to say the least.
That's sarcasm or?
Yeah.
Necessary evil.
Yes, gotta do it. The REA contract,
Yes,
that just,
I'll sign it.
same thing as before, just need that signed so I can get it sent back to REA so they can get it to their people.
And so you said Lewis reviewed that?
Yep.
This year? Or-
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a
it's our standard.
copy of last year. It actually came to me through the ECOG director. He takes care of preparing those and getting them to me, so. Brock, yep.
Right, yes.
Yeah. Anything else?
How's it all going?
Good, good.
Now, is there any more car parts down there, or?
No. I only have one bus that's still sitting there, and it's in the shop, locked up, so.
Next time, just leave the keys in, let them take the whole thing, get the insurance that way.
That'd be better?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we
Oh,
love
if you left the keys in, with your insurance covered?
No, let's don't put that in the paper. Just leave that one out.
Yeah.
We're out.
The only thing valuable on the bus, and they cut it off.
So you'll note on there that the other one is gonna be resold on the 19th, no. August 18th, there you go. Listed for resale on the 18th.
Okay.
So, got that all set up?
He's getting a new Cadillac converter.
Yes.
We hope so.
It may not even be as much as, or the bus may be less than what the.
Yeah, I have no idea, what do those cost?
The converter,
Yeah.
like $350 some, and then it was another,
But
it was like $750 to get it all put back together.
I didn't know expenses.
So we can auction it.
What is
Yeah.
still?
But the insurance took care of it.
I
No, I just have $300, is it worth, get the chance to get caught for stealing it?
And thank goodness you hadn't taken it off the insurance.
Yes,
You know,
yeah, no, so the one bus did pick up on Monday, and I did notify Lillis then to remove it, so.
Good.
It's out of our possession, done, but as long as we have it still on our lot, I kept the insurance on it, so.
You're still looking for one driver.
Yep, still looking for one driver. I did have, I don't know if you guys remember Jill, she worked for us for a short period, before COVID. And then when COVID came, she wasn't getting any hours, so she quit. She wanted to come back, and we had talked that you guys, about a dispatch position,
Mm-hmm.
she would have been ideal for that. But
But,
she changed her mind. So, she drives down from Van Horn, I wanna say.
Oh, she was, okay,
You remember which one?
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
So, but she would have been ideal for that dispatch position, but then she changed her mind, so,
that'd be an ideal part-time job for somebody.
yeah. And like I said, after thinking about having her in there and where we can get her to fit in, you know, if we find the right candidate, I think that would be a good position to fill. But we have to find the right one.
Wouldn't discourage you from doing it.
No, I know, but I haven't,
You need to find the one that fits for you.
yeah. And I wanna make sure Stacy and she did really well Wednesday and Thursday when I was gone. she handled things very well.
She didn't call us.
Couple calls, couple text messages, I was checking in with her when we get a break, so that was, you know, kinda left the opening for her, like, do you need anything, and so. Yeah, she'd be good.
Eventually you'd be gone like for like a whole day.
Yes. With no phone calls. Anything else?
Anything else you need?
Do we need a motion to approve the contract?
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve that contract?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign, motion carried.
You just gonna email that back to me then?
I didn't learn that, but I can.
Okay, I have a paper copy here if you wanna just do it
I
now.
just signed it,
Okay,
you can take it with you.
Sorry.
that's okay. Try to be prepared.
I usually am, but not.
Let's see. Oh, this is for I got, that's you.
For ICAD or REA, is that June?
I'm assuming Janine will be REA.
If not, we can draw the letter on that.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We can,
See you in a month.
we'll take a short break, everyone.
I got my phone.
Okay.
It's all there, it's just easy to read it.
Okay, I have a phone charger downstairs.
Chris, good morning, this is Alan. Good, good. You're doing well, I'm assuming, you're inside in third condition.
How are you?
Oh, yeah.
Good, how are you?
I hope you don't have to see me today.
I sure hope not. This is good enough.
Yeah, that's true.
Just a thought.
Didn't plan on doing it that day either.
I know, nobody ever does that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was awesome. I went up to that fire the other night and the ambient people come walking up there, a cooler in their hands, thinking, wow, you guys know how to, you know how to show up to a party.
We probably got more fire in there if we had brought it. Something else.
Man, there's a couple of those guys were just dead. I mean, they were soaking sweat. All that gear in the normal cool day is gonna be awful.
That phone must have worked pretty good.
Yeah, I go, what is that? You can see, it looks like soapy water.
Yeah.
I was worried to catch on fire later that night, but I never heard about any
Was it a lot of damage?
kind of hard to tell. So like there's two buildings joined like this, and the
Yeah.
tractor's parked right in the middle between them. So the tractor burned and got caught both on fire. And then it got into the tin roofs and stuff, so you can't, it's like burning on the inside, you couldn't get in there. So it looks like they get an old crib and all gas
Yeah. What started the tractor on fire?
overheated. What's amazing to me is like the front tires are, the one front tire is good, the back tires are good, it's like they didn't even know the rest of it's gone.
Some of the tires did survive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cause we're just joking like we can salvage, well, there's the steps and the tires.
But he said that the fire got under the tin on the asphalt shingles,
Or the wood shingles on the crib.
or wood shingles. That's what Kyle said when I talked to him. So I'm like, what'd you do? Return my call, I'm trying to bring you straw. Finally texted me back, I'm dealing with the fire department right now. I'm like,
And
okay.
he was sick too.
I can bring straw to the fire, I mean.
Cause we were flying over there, I could see the little black smoke, and all of a sudden it all just went white. Is that thing really do? They take water off of the firemen?
What's that?
They take water off of the firemen?
We try to, we take our time to do it.
That's awesome.
Oh, I wonder who was coming
We
upstairs.
keep some
Jess is going.
in the fridge here at the ambulance garage,
Walker,
and there's a first responders at the fridge.
Sometimes.
We have two fridges here, and there's actually two of them, one of the ones for one of the. I had to run over to the depot there and get it grabbed by guys.
So it's not like did they stay around and keep an eye on the firemen and make sure they don't drop over, or?
Yeah, well, we left the first responders there.
Yeah.
We would've stayed normally. We had a shift change, and I had a meeting at 6 o'clock.
No, I mean, in general, I didn't know that they're there for the firemen, cause
Yeah.
when we're flying out, we saw, they go, geez, I hope
So, like-
somebody get hurt.
Normally, we only go out if they're like, has a structure fire, where they're gonna go in. So after like 2 bottle rule, they come out, and then we check their vitals and stuff.
Yes.
But some departments are better at getting checked than others, firemen don't wanna get checked out, but.
We're the one that use, I go, man, you like lose 10 pounds, He goes, yeah, I'm getting too old, I'm too overweight for this. Looked like he got hosed off with the hose, I was just taking the coat off.
Yeah.
But
Oh, they certainly look hot.
you gotta admire them for doing what they do.
Yeah, it was hot that day.
Whose
Yeah,
equipment was that?
Then they had another.
Whose equipment was that?
Kyle Hickman,
That's what I was wondering, that's what I thought. That we,
but back
Oh, you
in,
just
back
got
in
your
jeans.
smoking, didn't you?
he was back in beans, cause we was in the combine too?
There was a separate combine fire.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, I didn't get the combine, but this is,
I just thought the combine, they must be combine.
It must have been 7:30, there was a
My
combine
grandson
fire.
was involved.
oh, I didn't know
Oh,
about that.
really?
Yeah, they went right from that one to the
Whose
other one.
combine was that?
The firemen did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
They had
Where's this
to,
at?
Williamsburg.
they had to be drained. But they look, they were doing pretty well.
We had self-defense training at the school here in town, they had a page to it. I think it was a combine fire.
Exciting night.
Yep. We will start coming back to order.
All right, you guys okay if I start with my monthly report? Sure. Is everybody a copy or?
Yeah, paper, I always write on.
Paper.
We now have your emails we are now getting.
Now, Kevin?
Conservation.
All right, July report. For June, we had 139 calls, 18 of those billable, 21 refusals, so we ended the fiscal year with 1,537 calls, 5 more than the previous year. So. Of those, 1,251 were billable, 277 refusals, so we averaged, our monthly average on billables was up around 3 calls per month. Financials, ending the year, June expenses were $113,613 compared to a budget of $153,818. Year-to-date expenses, $1,763,866 compared to a budget of $1,845,806. We ended up $81,940 under budget. I made some notes on my side here that in case anybody asks how come we're under budget, most of that was there was fuel was under, repairs were under, like major repairs were under, supplies were under a little bit, but we had amended the budget for COVID supplies. Billing was under budget, radios were under budget, and we had some amendments in there too, that affected that. June actual revenue, $112,140, year-to-date revenue for fiscal year 21 was $987,528 compared to a budget of $917,000. Difference in actual revenue versus budgeted revenue ended up $70,528. Revenue was up, GMT revenue was up $91,000 over what we budgeted. We budgeted 100. Of course, we're in the second year into that, still trying to learn. We knew it was gonna be a good thing, but still trying to figure out how much we're gonna get a year. Some of it depends on patient demographics and stuff too. Our Iowa
offsets, our collections were up $5,000 more than we expected, and then we have the bulletproof vest grant, we got 10,000, and then the EMS system development grant. Every county in the region gets like $4,700, but if they don't use it, then it's up for grabs, so we ended up getting like 14, that we were $10,000 more than what we planned, because we got our stuff in, get it in early, so.
Great.
Or not, so, actually been doing some training with for the region. Us in Muscatine County, because there's a lot of counties that aren't getting their stuff turned in, so they're asking us to help do some training, so other counties get their money, but kind of catch 22, because we're getting their money if they don't spend it, but that's not the purpose of it, is to get them more coordinated and organized and system developed. Difference between year-to-date actual expenses and year-to-date actual revenue came out at $776,339, versus we budgeted difference between expenses and revenues of $928,806. So overall, budget ended up having a positive effect of $152,467. So that was good. So it's AR balance $316,649. That is up a little bit. We are working with our billing company and the bank and the treasurer's office to get more EFT payments from insurance companies, so that might help lower some of that. So that's what they're working on. Gross days in AR 77.65.
What's your goal for your AR for days?
I think there's the standard goals around like 65 days.
65?
Yeah, but we don't have, like, for a department, I mean, I can't control a lot of that, we don't really have like a set in policy or goal, but yes, I know, trying to keep that 65, but there's not, well, that's out of our control, you know, I mean, it goes to billing company, we're waiting for insurance payments. So, other than staying on them and getting their processes done, they're well aware that I stay on about that AR, but again, that's, some of that's just the healthcare billing and process and people when they pay, so. Cause we wait.
Do you share with your billing company your goal?
What's that?
Do you share with your billing company your goal?
I don't know, they know that's an expectation when I've asked them, I mean, once they're, 65, but, we can write stuff off sooner, but the problem is we're holding stuff for 6 months up to a year trying to get payment. I mean, we could write it off sooner and lower our AR, but we don't really wanna write it off.
No, that's not what I'm asking, I'm just asking if they are aware of what your goals are.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, they do billing for, hundreds of ambulance services, so. It's something we could put in the contract when that renews, if we wanted to. Year-to-date average charge per transport, $1,197.28, compared to revenue we received, $753.02. Cost per dispatch call, $1,147.60 versus cost per transport, $1,496. Satisfaction hasn't changed much. I don't have my annual report done, it's been too busy, but I did kind of highlight the grants we received for last year, the EMT that I was talking about, that's $191,291, so that's for all of our state Medicaid MCO patients, I don't have the numbers in front of me exactly, but prior to the GEMT, that was probably 30,000-40,000 a year we were getting from the state program, so that's been a huge difference. That's only available to government agencies, so.
Does the American Recovery Act, is there anything that you have that could potentially fall into that?
Nothing I'm aware of, the main thing we got was the, 40,000 or whatever that was dumped in right at the beginning, we haven't seen anything since then.
I think Alan's
No,
referring to
he's-
the American Rescue Plan,
Yeah, American Rescue Plan, that's what I meant, thank you.
So,
the 3 million that the county got that we're figuring out what we're gonna spend it on.
yeah, nobody's talk to me about it, so.
I'll send you, I'll forward you a couple links to look at.
Yeah, there's a lot of, if there's anything there that can possibly fall into help with your
Yeah.
department, it'd be wise to take a look at it. Otherwise, we gotta send it back.
Yeah, no, we won't do that. We won't do that. Yeah, so no, I don't have
Plate
information
out
on
here,
it.
that'd be the biggest thing.
You got the guidelines on it or something? I certainly can take a look.
Yeah.
No,
I'll
that-
forward it right
I
now.
don't know if that's been shared with any department head. That might be more than me, you want to share that with.
Yeah.
Did the city apply for that?
I believe you got some else.
Carlos got some put in, 500,000 for the lagoon, doesn't she?
Yeah, I think so.
Cause you can use it for water treatment.
Yeah. Yeah, there's another round, or maybe she's working on it, CDBG is coming out with something with that, another round related to that, I think she just told me yesterday.
And it's going through the block grant?
Something, yeah, cause we got denied.
That's terrible.
We got denied the first round, but there's another round coming out somehow related to
Okay.
the rescue plan or COVID, something.
The watershed goes through the CDBG process and that's paperwork nightmare.
Like I mentioned before, the system development grant, we got $14,625. That pays for a lot of our education, a lot of our first responder training too. So we bought this previous year, we bought the online training platform through that, as annual subscription. And then a lot of it was, we didn't have a lot of training, but we had to buy a bunch of books for advanced life support training, pediatric advanced life support CPR. So we got a lot of that out of it. This year going forward, we're probably gonna get some costs for the EMT class that's coming out of that, so. And then we have the 5,000 from Bayer Corporation, 5,000 from Mid-American for the full group tax. COVID-19, just that we're adequately stocked with PPE, just kind of waiting to see if we're gonna get this wave of Delta variant hit us or not. Just don't kind of let our guard down, I guess, is where we're at here. Just don't. Area 5 preparedness meetings, they're talking about going back to in-person. I like the online, so I don't have to drive anywhere. Safe side. We had an executive board meeting on the 25th and a full board meeting on the 6th. I actually had yesterday, I had another executive board meeting, but those keep us busy, and that's where there's a couple of us from, like Tom is from Muscatine, and myself, we're kind of the ones that do stuff right and get our stuff turned in, so now they want us to show other people.
You're the trainers.
The more that learn, the less money there will be for us.
That's,
How it's supposed to work, right? The normal routine deposits, claims, scheduling, med machine collections. EMT class scheduled to start August 24th. I think we're gonna have 10. There's at least 7 currently registered, and I think we have 3 more that are planning to register, so we should have a full class of 10. And 4 of those are from Amana, so 1 from Victor, 1 from Williamsburg, 1 from North English.
These are all new.
All new, will help our first responder teams, yeah.
Excellent.
And then I think there's a couple people I don't even know that are signed up for class, I don't know where they're from. But just, public signed up for it, so.
So reaching out over there and.
Yeah,
Some of the-
so now Amanda's, cause there's potentially 4, they're running a little low on funds, so there should be something running this week or next week that if anybody wants to donate to help those out. Now, we may get the grant in the end, right, but they have to pay that upfront cost, right?
right.
We staffed up to July 3rd and 4th, and, we also staffed down at the county fair from like 8 AM to 8 PM. We're getting stretched thin on low staffing, how much more we can, hopefully we get some staff back up here, but, I know we don't have any extra staff planned for Saturday in Ladora. I don't know how much you guys know about that, but, EMA reached out, or the sheriff reached out to have a plan, they didn't wanna do anything, they don't want any extra law enforcement, they didn't ask for any extra EMS. So,
Is this that August 7th event?
yeah, August 7th, sorry, not Saturday, August 7th, yeah.
That's asking.
So,
Mhm.
and I don't really know how much, I mean, I'm working August 8th, 24 hours, I don't know that I have any extra staff to work August 7th, but.
Well, I mean, if they don't let you there, I mean, that's.
Yeah, so, I mean, if it doesn't turn out any,
We'll go as needed.
if it doesn't turn out any bigger than the Parnell event, they'll be fine,
Right,
right? So, I mean, we had
weather pending.
we overstaffed for that,
Right,
so. And I'm sure they don't wanna pay, I mean, it's $100
Right.
an hour our charge on the books for having ambulance there,
yeah.
unless you guys don't wanna charge for that, but, I mean, we already do Oktoberfest for nothing, July 3rd and 4th for nothing, football games for nothing, all the activities at the fairgrounds for nothing, tractor pull and the fair, so I don't know how much more we can provide without reimbursement, I guess, and, but anyway, so. Just so you're aware of that. We helped with the COVID clinic at Public Health Department. I didn't know we were gonna get reimbursed for that, I mean, I did the public health our hours, but we got a check yesterday for a couple days ago, $4,577.34. Which we spent money last year and money this year. We had training this week on EMS safety and self-defense, so I think we had 11 people attend at the wrestling meet here in town. And learned some basic, wasn't a whole lot of contact, more how to get out of situations, get away from people, kind of stuff. So it was a good class. And then I did an in-service back in Kinsey's on June 30th with their first responder team, and Matt did an in-service with North English first responders on the 11th, so. Equipment, generator bids are due back the 30th, so what's came in so far will be fine with what we have in the budget for that, so. Well, it's a grant, so I think we have it in the budget anyway, but we have enough in the grant. We had a deer accident, that truck got back in service July 2nd. We got a window that has a hole in it, I believe, that they were mowing, a rock or something. The hospital takes care of the mowing for us, so fix the window, so I'm sure it wasn't intentional, so. Then the gutter at the Williamsburg garage was coming loose, Scott did fix that up, put like 16 hangers on it, so.
Yeah, I got surprised if he falls off this time of year.
Yeah, well, I don't know how long it's been that way, but
Yeah, it could have happened with the ice.
I took the trailer back down after we got done with the fair, and I was just standing at the right angle, and I was like,
Sunshine.
the gutter's gonna fall off.
So it could have been that way from snow.
Isn't it?
It's.
Normally fall under Jason's.
Yeah, well,
category,
then,
we should
yeah,
know
then
stuff like
Jason said
that.
he noticed the water running
I
around.
mean, I feel like a good assistant would have noticed that for you.
But you don't notice it you're walking straight up to it most of the time, and I was having to be at the end of it, looking up.
No problem. You're welcome, Jason.
Hey, we got 3 ambulances serviced here recently, and then we have a cottage issue that we ended up checking the manual, or able to troubleshoot ourselves, got that fixed. Personnel wise, we're sitting at 3 full-time positions open. I got 3 part-time starting, 1 started this week, 2 I'm in contact with to start next week or the week after. Of those 2 are EMTs, 1's a paramedic. Putting that out to see if we can find any local candidates to send to EMT class, I haven't got nothing back, so I think just COVID, people aren't wanting to go into healthcare, so. Safety wise, drug screens, been a little bit busy doing ambulance, conservation, transportation, several new hires going on. Getting those background checks done and stuff back to them. Safety meeting comes in a second, I don't know, I didn't break it, I think I sent the minutes out, but the one thing I didn't wanna forget about, we talked about slip resistant footwear, and I put it on here so I remember to, but something we wanna probably look into before winter. I think there was a grant, you remember Al? You were at the safety meeting, right? He talked about a grant for slip resistant footwear, so probably be worth something looking into, so we don't maybe reduce, we didn't have a lot of slips, I think we had 3 or 4, but.
Yep.
They had new footwear that you could wear inside and outside, you didn't have to take it off when you went in, it was just more tread like, so.
Okay.
Haven't done anything with reasonable suspicion training, I need to take that training and figure out what we're doing. We're talking about EAP, anything on my regular report, or anything other stuff. Okay, all right. Okay, so, next thing I have copies if you need, is our proposed wage increases and some other changes.
Everything,
Pass it on, yeah.
okay.
I always think it for yes.
Kind of our situation, we got 3 full-time openings, we're in a really difficult place to try and find people to work in EMS or in healthcare in general. We did the wage survey a few months ago. I've kind of talked about some of this going on. I was trying to hold off until budget time, but our current situation, we can't give people vacations. People are getting aggravated, morale is starting to drop if people can't get their time off, right? And then you're competing with all these other places that keep increasing wages and stealing people, so you're pretty much down to you're gonna have to do something, increase wages. Or you're cut down on a truck, I mean, you gotta have the staff. I'll just go through this a little bit. What we're asking is some pay scale increases, a step scale, increase for salary, consider a hiring bonus. I wanna do some change of title stuff, that's minor stuff, just to make things flow a little better. And then currently, we don't hire full-time EMTs, we just hire full-time paramedics. I don't really wanna hire full-time EMT, but if we have to staff, then we'll put that out. So our current authorization is we have to have 1 paramedic on each truck, okay, so, and a driver. Drivers, we don't currently have any drivers, so the next thing is consider hiring part-time drivers if we can, if necessary, to staff. They have to have CPR training, of course, we have for them. Again, not something I wanna do, but if we're changing how we normally do stuff, I think it's important that you guys are involved in that before I just, I'm not a driver, right? And the other, I don't know if anybody would do it, but currently, like other county employees, to work part-time on the ambulance, we have to pay them their overtime rate, so, they can't really help us out. So if I have say a deputy or something that would be available to help for 6 hours a week, 12 hours a week, I would have to pay them their overtime rate, so, I kind of want permission if we can do that. I don't have anybody specifically lined up to do that, but if we get to that situation, I kind of want some options without having to have a special meeting or anything to come in here and do that. So just a little bit of explanation, we did the wage survey, the average paramedic wage was $22.34, and the EMT wage was $17.19 an hour. We're proposing the new wage scale, that would increase our base wage and then increase based on years of service with us, experience with us. So we can keep those good experienced people, quality people around. The wage scale is not gonna bring us up to $22.34 an hour. That's not really realistic or responsible, I don't think, in my mind. What we're looking at would be to bring our average up to $20.92 an hour, our EMT wage to average to $16.46 an hour. Those are averages figuring in the years of experience, so, we're competitive in other areas, so I don't know that we can get to $22 an hour right now, but we're competitive in those other areas with benefits and just the culture we have and the support we have. I think we're okay to start at this level. When I wrote this, we sent it out Monday, we had 3 full-time positions and 5 part-time. Now in this whole process, I got people testing and interviewing, so I probably have 2 part-time positions open now. And filling those people won't actually be able to staff on their own for probably another 3 months, right? They gotta get their training. I've already talked to you about vacation requests and morale. Last fiscal year, I checked it out. So normally everybody works 8 hours or 48 hours a week. We had 2,491 hours of overtime beyond that last fiscal year, so.
2,000?
2,491 hours. I mean, it's not one person, it's divided between
Right.
Yeah.
13 people, so.
Because when
Yeah, understaffed, staff's leaving, trying to keep up, so you never get to where you're full staff, because someone's always, I mean,
Transition. is
yeah,
always-
I mean, there's gonna be some, I
Right.
can't eliminate it, but if I could cut that overtime in half by keeping, not having anybody leave for 2 years, that would be helpful, you know? And you're gonna have overtime for training when you have new employees, maybe. So it's not just, the line of work, it depends on the person's experience, but it takes 3 months to get these people trained to where you can trust them to
Right.
go out there on their own, right, and they're comfortable. Cause it's not Monday through Friday job either, I mean, you gotta get calls, you gotta get that value. And, you know, if you're doing a 24-hour shift, you might have, 4 or 5 calls. Estimated cost to implement this plan is around $100,000. Again, there's a balance between what it costs and what the overtime you're currently paying, but at this point, it's not, I mean, morale is the problem, because they can't get people off, and people have to work so much, 60 hours, 96 hours a week. And then the budget, the budget is around $150,000, we'll probably this year, because we're under in expenses and over in revenue, so. Exhibit A, the second page, is what we're proposing to start August 1st. Hourly employees, we get an extra 15 cents an hour for each year of service, basically longevity, which we would set that July 1st on however many years they have every July 1st. I don't wanna change their hourly rate 2 people every month on their anniversary, we just figure that out going forward. August 1st, and every July 1st. And set the starting rate, if we agree to do driver, if needed, we do that $15 an hour, EMT at 16, and paramedic at 20. And then we'd have a captain that replaces our current field supervisor position. Additional $1.25 per hour on top of base wage. That's pretty much what it is now already, so that, if I came in here asking, if I replace the field supervisor, they get $1.25 more than what they're getting now. And then the lieutenants, who were FTOs, have been training people for the last 10 years, haven't got anything extra. We'd like to pay them 50 cents an hour and give them a little bit more responsibility to make sure the station's in order every day and everything, just take a look. And then exempt employees, that put our salaries down there with 5% of the. And then the third page is the salary survey. The top chart is the EMT pay, and the bottom part is the paramedic pay. Let's just look at paramedics, since we're a majority of our staff is. We're at $17.64 an hour for average. The low one there is medic, and that's out of Davenport, Quad Cities. And the high, you get up there to Johnson County, where you get up there for 31, so. It averages out to around 22, 34 hours. Now, I don't have the count of employees in here, so
Right.
there's a little bit of error in the chart. I'm not gonna, want to be clear on that, I mean, so. So that's kind of where we're at, so questions?
I got a couple.
Yeah.
You have a high and a low range for Iowa County like you did with Henry and Johnson that you showed us?
We do, so, when I did the salary survey out, I asked for, their average paramedic wages, right? And some of them sent me a range. Well, they sent me their high and low.
They didn't wanna be
They didn't ask
specific.
me for an average.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can probably pull it up on my phone, but the part-time are like 1661, and the lowest full-time is like 1705, and the highest part-time is probably 1820. Not a very big range currently.
Okay.
That's kind of our range, so I just took the range.
Is this gonna fix the problem?
What's that?
Is this gonna fix the problem?
It's certainly gonna help. I mean, I think you guys behind me believe that you know,
I'm looking for heading out.
$20 an hour is gonna make a difference getting people out.
I don't wanna jump in.
I mean, that's what, obviously we need staff, so, I mean, I'm interested in what it's gonna take to get staff and keep staff. Cause I don't wanna just get staff, I wanna keep staff.
I think we're gonna need to look at it every year.
Because we're a training ground for a lot of people.
Which we know that, I mean, Adam knows that, you guys know
And
that.
it's
But there's
not
also,
gonna get better with the, you know, now counties have the ability.
now other counties are gonna start.
Our ability to, I mean, we pay it through the general fund, other counties now have the ability to put a vote to the voters if they wanna do a special levy. If more counties start to do what we're doing, it's gonna be more competitive.
Right, well then we may have to change how we do it.
And we may have to look down the road if we need that levy to help supplement the general
Right.
fund too. But I didn't come in here to ask for that levy, and, you know,
No.
there's a lot of discussion that needs to go into that, if you wanna do that. And where your general fund's at and stuff too, but, I mean, it's essentially the same people paying the thing.
Right.
You're taking it from 5 people making decisions, to 5,000, the votes.
Yep.
So we gave a 2% increase this year, and this is an addition on top of that.
Yes, this would be an addition to on top.
So, like the two salary would be getting 7% raise, right? Then,
Well, I guess you want to look at it that way, yeah. The problem with it, if we don't keep the salaries going up, we'd be better off just going back to the hourly wage and letting somebody else do the salary job. I mean, so we
Right.
gotta keep those up. I mean, I think if you look at mine, I mean, you gotta consider, we're running 4 things here: ambulance, safety, pretty much the medical examiner's office, and managing all the policy maintenance, right? So you're getting more than just one thing out of me. You get a lot, but, and I certainly don't wanna leave this job, but, you know, I could probably go work the streets of Johnson County for the same amount of money, right? So,
Right.
with my experience, so, and that's not a threat.
So what,
No, yeah, I'm trying to.
can you handle it in your budget going forward?
We'll have to amend the budget.
Right.
At some point in the year. I mean, I don't want to jump into it right away. I want to see where things are going, because it's gonna, if we get positions filled, it's gonna be a big difference. If we don't, we're gonna keep paying with that. I know it's a big ask. I don't come here, and ask this slightly. And,
The more overtime we pay, the better chance we're gonna lose people too, because they're gonna get burnt out.
yeah.
Yeah.
We're now.
And I don't mean to speak for you, but
No, I know, I didn't come in here, I mean, you know, guys know I'm pretty frugal on stuff, and I wanted to wait till budget to do this, and, you know, staff has kind of pushed me to like, we gotta do something sooner, we gotta, you know.
Well, we can't keep having vacancies.
I mean,
We're in a rock and a hard
you know,
place.
and you start pretty soon, you know, the last week has been spent interviewing and background checks, and all you get done is trying to recruit and test these people, interview them, and then, you know, get them, bring them in, you spend a day going through policies with them and getting them.
And you're not getting a ton of applicants.
No, and you're trying to get quality applicants too.
I know.
mean,
I know.
I can
We've
just,
had that conversation.
I don't think the public or you guys want me just to hire
Yeah.
anybody that has a certified EMT certification, right?
Right.
They also have to be good at doing the job, or capable of learning how to do it, and, be a good citizen as well, I guess, and treat them. There's stuff you can't teach.
Right.
I mean,
I personally would just like a little bit more time to think about it. I'm not saying I'm not considering it, I am definitely considering it, but I just would like maybe to table it for a week. That way I have time to research, see if some of this ARPA funding can go to, you know, make sure that we're using all the resources that we have. I'm just saying, I'm personally not ready to make a decision today, cause it is a big decision. Because every time we do a raise down the road, that's gonna obviously apply, it's not just the 100,000 this year, it's a larger impact when we do raises every year.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can table it, you can vote on it, you can do nothing on it.
What is the rest of the board think?
stuff in line, so you can.
Yep,
make a
no, I
line.
know.
I did that intentionally, trying to make, not that, I mean, I like it.
I think we
All
have
day,
to,
all
I think we
day.
have to deal with the elephant in the room, I mean.
Yeah, I just wanna think about it, you know, I just like to sit and think about now that I've heard everything and just kind of mull it over.
So this, you got the starting wages though, the increases,
Yeah, we go, basically, we're going from $17 to $20 now.
Yeah, that one's a 13%, the other one's 26%.
I don't think we have any choice, but I don't care to table it, but I don't think, we've gotta keep an ambulance staff going. I've used them twice this year already, so.
And I
And I
agree.
know, and I know
Yeah,
they're good.
We can't wait long, because we're gonna.
No, I know,
Yeah.
that's why I said, I mean,
And I agree,
it's,
$12 is not
it's an elephant in the room, and I think,
Is not enough to pay somebody that is in a nation. I understand, I totally understand that, but I just wanna look at, I just would like to look at it for 1 week before I decide.
How's everybody else feel? Is everybody, I mean, I don't care.
You guys can
ready
vote
to
on it,
vote.
I don't care if you guys don't vote on it, but
Alan, Kevin, what do you, I mean,
Well, like I said, you know how I feel always on wages, but
I know, but it's.
we can't keep
We
them
gotta
at the
keep
wages
people.
we have,
Yeah.
is the problem we have.
I don't want somebody to call 911 and say, sorry, we don't have anybody today, they're on vacation,
Yeah. Or,
or we don't have staff, I mean, that's a,
I mean, I don't think a week is gonna, probably all live with a week, if that helps. I mean, I'd rather have more support than.
so you got an EMT and a paramedic here. What's the driver portion, driver starting wage, what am I missing here?
So we don't have any drivers now, back to where I first started, so I was, on my list, I was asking if they'll be allowed to hire part-time drivers if necessary.
Okay,
and what is Becky's rate, what do they get starting out, those drivers?
I just went $1 less than what we were paying our EMT, so.
we mean, as far as trying to get those guys to cross over.
No, I just wanna know what they're starting at,
Well,
I can look it up.
Well, so, yeah, well,
can't do,
we don't really wanna hire drivers.
No, I know,
No.
that's less,
I just wasn't sure
I
where
need
she
to
was
be
going.
prepared.
I'm not going anywhere, I just wanna know, this is,
I need to be
this is what
prepared.
I'm talking about, I just wanna I just wanna mull stuff over and,
I need to be prepared if someone else quits. I pull one of you guys in the job,
Yes,
right?
right,
We don't wanna have to have all board meeting to make
Right.
that decision, so.
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know that they have to vote on that part, but I just want you guys to know.
so Henry County's 2 counties south.
they start.
I'm just curious, Tama County, Benton County, did you
They don't
talk to
have
them?
paid services out, they're all volunteers,
They're all volunteers.
or paid volunteers, yeah, they don't have countywide coordinated events, it's a hodgepodge. Yeah.
It's gonna have to change
I
too.
guarantee you're gonna get a paramedic in any of those counties.
That's all
Well,
gonna
that's all
have to
changed
change
with the
down the
state
road.
law. I mean,
Yeah,
Okay, so these guys were the closest, Lynn and Johnson County, really, we gotta throw that out.
Aries is private service, so I.
they contracted.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it all works in Cedar Rapids, but they're not in my,
League.
our regional preparedness is this way, with the state setup, it's Region 5, and that's who my contacts are, that's who my preparedness meetings and everything, so that's the way I went with the people I know. But,
Okay,
I mean, you don't have anything in Powashik, you don't have anything in, Benton, Tama.
Power Sheet is volunteers too.
Brooklyn's volunteers and the city of Grinnell contracts with the private service Midwest Ambulance to provide one EMT truck.
And Montezuma runs their own.
Yeah, if we show up.
Washington just started there.
just started.
Washington County just took over there. The county did.
No, and I agree, when you look at these wages, it's not fair, I definitely understand that, I would just like a week to think, that's all I would.
You have something, Jason?
Well, if that's okay.
Yeah,
I don't,
yep,
you okay
yes.
if I say
So
something?
you can talk.
I don't wanna jump on.
No, I-
jump in your-
That's why I want,
No, I guess, case in point into your question of is this gonna fix the problem? I don't know, and as Adam and I have talked, I don't think that ultimately this is gonna guarantee to fix the problem if, you know, as he's looked at it, he's like, what's my advice? My advice is, well, we go to the top of the scale, you know, financially, I'm a taxpayer here as well, I wanna keep things in check. The trouble is, as with many industries, especially healthcare, there's not a lot of workers, for whatever reason that is, there's not a lot of workers, so we're short people. And because of that, if you're talking about the volunteer services, where can people go for careers? These places are our competition, Johnson County area, you know, Henry County. So what happens is our employees who have been here for a long time, many years, say we love it at Iowa County, they treat me great. As our situation changes, 3 full-time openings, mandated to work shifts, can't go on vacation. They get job offers from other places that are paying them more money to go there. And if they can't take vacation and they have to get mandated, they go over there and they make more money. So if we lose more people that we currently have, this situation gets very, very bad very, very quickly, which I think is with the speed that, you know, you mentioned, because we're not at the top, you know, it helps. My fear would be that we have to come back in a couple months and go, well, it's kind of been helping, but we need more. That's really my fear, you know, because you don't know for sure that it's the end all be all, but it does preserve what we have. It certainly helps, shows our employees that are here, that we're dedicated to them and want to keep them here. The other thing that happens with these other places that are higher, I talked to other services that they're at the high end, they've had a whole bunch of applicants, they've only hired 1 or 2 of the applicants. You know, they just were not a fit, not quality. We talked about the quality. So those people then come here. So then we're also tasked with, hey, we don't have a dozen applications, but if we did, what's wrong with these 12 people that applied? Well, these are all the things these other services didn't like about them. They weren't wanted there, they had problems, and not that people don't deserve second chances in a place to come work. But they're not always the best quality. They've already looked elsewhere and they're coming here as last kind of resort.
And we have lowered our
Yeah.
standards a little bit.
For everybody in the room, this is Jason Schott, the Assistant Director.
And that's Aaron.
That's Matt Full.
As you know, I can be I can be a politician and talk forever.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's
I just wanted your input.
that's the reality. I mean, it's very important. That's obviously, I mean, that's why we're here.
Right.
You know, but you know, the colleges can't kick out. There's not enough students, you know, coming out. At least I didn't talk to Kirkwood, but the University of Iowa's program about why are your students not? I mean, we do ride time with them. We let them come here. Why don't they come here and apply here? They have all the job postings for every place that's open. All these places you see and places that you don't see on here. And we are about the bottom of the barrel for the pay. So they don't come here because of that. You know, our service, you want professional paramedic service 24/7 every day when you need it. You have to pay for that, and we can't control, unfortunately, the cost of what that is. But these people are living lives, they have families, they have jobs, they need to be able to this is their full-time job. They're not working full-time somewhere else in town and taking off work, you know, for a few hours to go to a call quick, so.
Well, yeah, Jason wanted me to ask for more money. I came up with that.
No, I get it.
I get it, yeah,
Yeah.
I understand completely.
So,
It's a big decision,
Yeah.
so I'd like to just sleep on it, maybe we can.
Now, like I said, I'm not saying that, this is like, he's got laid out, what he has is very, very nice. I mean, it's it shows our people here, hey, we recognize, this is a problem, because like I said, when I've got really good people working here who I know very well, can go work at one of these other places. Some of them have worked already before, and know people there, they can be gone like that. And when they are, and we already have holes, I can talk to Adam, he and Al, will just be me and Adam on every truck, and we'll be short, you know, for a couple of calls calling for help, because we're gonna, you know, that's a spiral, that's a hole you don't wanna get into. So, and it does take so long to get people trained and up to where they can go.
Thank you. I get it, I totally get it. It's a service industry issue.
Yeah, it's not.
Nick is facing, or not Nick, but Rob is facing the same thing.
Yep.
And he's came here before us and told us the same thing, and he's competing against when the Johnson counties, and I emphasize with what you're trying to do, and it's a service-oriented task, and it does need resolved. I could agree, concur with Abby to sit on it for a week, but yet I think it's also inevitable that we're going to have to do something and move forward with it.
I agree.
Whether we sit on it for a week or not, I respect that line of thinking. It is a big decision, it's a big increase for a county. But also we wanna have the service.
Yeah,
Your points are all very valid.
and I mean, I think we'll be okay this first year with the savings we had last year.
Right, no, I know, and that's our job, is to come up with how we're gonna pay for it,
But it's gonna be that,
which
That's what I'm
I
saying.
think we can,
And
Yeah, I
that's,
just wanna look.
yeah,
I get it,
Yeah.
but I mean,
and that's where
it's still the elephant in the room, which I agree with, but in that same week, we can start digging into how we're funding it. Cause it doesn't change the situation, is my only thing, it's like, so, how are you gonna address it? Cause you're leaning towards doing it,
Well, of course, yeah,
Right,
but I
so,
just,
but-
I would like to,
and so that's my thing, is if we're all leaning towards doing it, then we need to,
What's the week of the matter?
what's the weekend matter, cause we
well, I'd
still,
rather figure
we
it out
still-
before we make
I'd
the
like to
decision
know where
than
we're
make
gonna-
the decision and figure it out later.
I'd like to know where we're gonna pull it from before we say yes.
I get that, but I mean, you're either gonna have staff or you're not.
Yeah, but we'll make a week, I mean, a week's difference, I'd like to just figure it out before we make the decision, that makes way more sense than doing it and then saying, oh, wait, where's this money gonna come from?
yeah, well, I mean, we're over 70,000.
We have it now though.
Right.
For this year.
Not,
We
yeah,
brought in
most
an
likely,
extra
We're-
70,000, so.
We're 3/4 there.
yeah.
Our expenses were under, so.
I just want a week and I don't care if the rest of you wanna vote, you're.
Yeah, and that's why I was asking.
I'm
it
just
was-
saying, I would need a week to decide for myself.
You guys decide what you wanna do.
Yeah, so I need
to
a
go
more
through.
board input, we need to,
If someone else wants to make the motion to approve it, I can abstain, that's fine.
you don't have to abstain, you can vote no, just based on your opinion, I mean, it doesn't mean you're voting against them. What do you guys
Yeah, I
want
mean,
to
I
do?
don't feel like you're.
No, that's why I said
I
that,
don't, I'm
and
not getting
Yeah.
that.
that's why I was
Yeah.
clarifying with her that she was,
Just where are we gonna pull the money from?
Right.
That's what I wanna know.
Well, and with
Before,
this ARP thing, there was something with wage increases for essential workers, and I wanna make sure that we can't pull some money out of that to fund this versus, I just wanna look, there's a whole webinar, I promise I will watch it today, I will look into it. I just wanna make sure I look everything through before I make a decision.
But what difference is that gonna make? Either you can or you can't, so we can go ahead and vote on it today anyway.
What does it matter if I figure it out before and then we vote? What's the difference with that either? I'm saying, I'm sure if you get offended that I don't wanna vote today, go ahead and vote on it.
I just need a motion one way or the other.
I make a motion to approve Adam's recommendations of wages increases and retention program and
Are you guys up? Everything on the, with that signing bonus, we haven't talked about that?
Yeah, we did go through it,
Okay, I mean, I mentioned it. I mean,
it's on there,
I feel like
$1,000 something.
6 months.
6
seems a little
months,
You guys
early.
didn't debate that any, so I didn't.
No,
Okay.
well, it's just part of the package, I mean, if you're,
Okay.
I don't know how else you're gonna get around it.
6 months just seemed a little early, but to me.
Well, a lot of people are doing 3 though, aren't they?
Yeah,
90
I
days.
kinda looked at some and.
Should be a lot more,
Some
I think.
did some in 6 months, but I'm open to.
So, there's a motion on the table,
I will second it.
is there any more discussion? It's been moved and seconded to have Adam go ahead with the proposals that he's brought for the pay scale increases and the signing bonuses, to help staff the ambulance. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Yeah, thank you guys. I know.
We'll work on how we're gonna,
Okay.
we'll get started on that to see what avenues we can reach and get that addressed,
Hopefully we
so
can
that everybody's
figure that out.
comfortable with it. Okay.
Okay, I have more stuff to talk about, so, thank you guys for all 5 of your. Approved ambulance, drug, and alcohol testing policy. I didn't make copies again for everybody, that was an email I sent out Monday with that.
Right.
Was it, Galloway that redlined it, or who read?
This was, yes, not Galloway, it was Ann,
And
Okay,
we're saying last
Sneeze
year.
I assume because it was
Just go first name.
not legal anymore to do those things, or was it more off of
So,
her reasoning on redlining it?
let's get back up now.
Is it like not legal to include those things, the things that are redlined? Cause like when we did the union contract for the
Oh,
secondary
well-
roads, they redlined stuff that we could no longer negotiate.
It's just printed out that way. Those were,
Cause she took out, looks like she took out language in the.
yeah, I have, when I print it, I see some other lines in here too. Yeah. She did that markup in Word, and when I printed it off, I didn't turn off the markup. So
Well, I like seeing it, I like to see what was changed, you know, but I'm assuming that was cause it was illegal, is that why that stuff got taken out, do you know?
I don't ask her why, I just said review it.
it's what legal counsel says to take out, so,
Yeah.
I mean,
The policy, we paid CJ Cooper to provide the policy, then we sent it to Ann Galloway's.
Yep.
She marked it up, sent it back. That's where we're at.
Yeah, I didn't know, cause when Galloway said
Right,
that one, he
and
had
that-
notes,
but that was a union, yes.
beside it that
And-
said, you
yeah.
know, why this was taken out.
that's not the same, I assume it's under technical language for legal purposes, they leave that out. 'Cause
Yeah.
you don't have a battle over it then.
I was just curious.
It's separate,
I just
yes,
wanna
I
know,
get it,
you know.
yep, no, it is not the same issue.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure without going back and looking through all my emails of who did what. I think it came from CJ Cooper clean, then Ann did all.
Ann did all that. Right.
I'm sure.
Yep.
But-
Yeah, cause that's a different language for their contracts, for other businesses and that they would have in there.
I'll make a motion to approve the policy.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I don't know where this is going. Anyway, you guys got a chance to look at the EAPs, Employee Assistance Program. I got no response, sent it out to department heads, didn't get anybody yay or nay, they don't like that, so. With the.
Who's asked for it? So no one's asked
No
for it?
one's asked for it, I just brought it up as something we don't offer, and most businesses offer this with like, over 100 employees, so. This started looking into the drug policy, okay, and then what if somebody does have a drug problem, what do we do then? We have no plan. That's what led me to the EA, to bring that up. If you would prefer, it's something I could probably put in the safety budget for fiscal year 23 and just wait on it, if you don't, just ask you to spend a lot of money, so that's a different department.
Well, my question, or I guess my thinking on this is about treating people with a drug problem after they've been caught, right?
Yeah.
But that's what was redlined in that contract, and that policy was handling people with problems that we're no longer supplying that. That's the redline part in that.
Oh,
So I don't know why you would redline it and then adopt this.
So if you don't have a policy in place, and that's a private company's policy that they had. I'm assuming, and then once we put it in, if we change our policy book, then it will have a different take on.
I was just looking for, so the EAP is more than just addiction, but that's what
Right.
led it to me.
Right.
What do we do if we have somebody that has addiction?
What, yes, how do
The
we handle that?
EAP could be financial problems, could be
Mental health.
mental health.
Yes.
It could be me responding to a kid call, it could be a deputy responding to a kid call, it could be, a snowplow got into an accident and killed somebody. It could be any of that stuff needs mental health.
Right.
And I'm not saying we need this today, I just wanna make you aware of it, and I
Right.
have a proposal that you can look at, but it's certainly something
Something to think about.
we could probably wait and look at it at budget time, if we wanna spend it, cause I really think if you're gonna do it, you probably should do the plus one that provides you with education.
Right.
Because that's what we need, cause we don't really even know that.
Right.
Um,
Well, and department heads should have, and choose, yeah. And they'll have to be aware of the board.
So,
So the 10,000, that's for the, is that the plus one, or
it's on the back.
that's just on the return?
That's on the return.
On
So the
the-
cheapest plan is just the employee, the basic one, is basically $2,400. And the plus plan where they come in and do education with every department head and the board is like $4,500.
Okay. Do you wanna talk to the department head, something you wanna do this tonight?
And how does that, I mean, maybe that affects our insurance too. We have a,
Less than it? I mean, it'd be good to look into.
that's what I,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it could have an impact
Is
on
anything
that.
that needs approved today? I
No.
just wanted you guys to put this in front of you. We can look at more.
I just think we take it under advisement, and we'll look into
Yeah.
different avenues versus tabling, because if we table, we gotta take action on it,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
okay.
Medical examiner's office, we would like to send Krista Burns, she's actually one of our paramedics, to the medical legal death investigator training. We used to go to St. Louis for it, we probably will again eventually if they were due in person, maybe they won't. It's all online training now. For cost wise, it's actually cheaper because it's just online, we don't have travel expense, so. $650, we budget $2,000 for ME training, we never really know what we're gonna do, so last year we didn't spend any ME training money, but, it's really difficult, we don't have a regular, we don't pay ME investigators, there's really no schedule, it's just who's ever available, so. It's hard when there's only 3 of us that regularly do it, so we need somebody, we'd like to get somebody else to help do that, and we have that in our budget.
Okay.
So, and you can probably do it all in one motion if you wanted to, but in case I didn't get back here, I wanted.
I mean, I-
Maybe you could just approve her to be an
Medical
investigator at the
inspector,
same time you approve the training.
Yep.
Dr. Dunn's on board with it, I can show you a text message.
No, that's fine.
Should've started that, that's the easiest one.
I know, I like to finish on the easy one, that's good.
I'll make that.
Unless anybody else wants to be a death investigator.
I'll make that motion to send her to
And
the
to
training, and
approve her.
then it'd be approved as she completes.
Krista lives in Williamsburg, she
Yeah.
climbs there, so it's in Williamsburg.
Although, is it any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Alright, thank you guys.
You're out.
Abby, you're gonna send me some stuff to me.
I already did, on the
Okay,
ARC.
alright, perfect,
Yeah.
thank you guys.
There might be something
Thanks,
there
Mary.
that could enhance
you.
their
Thanks, guys.
location and be an attraction
Yeah.
to recruiting too.
That'd be great. Clean up my mess here, I have a lot of stuff in there.
I wonder if all department heads.
3-minute break.
So all department heads have a copy of that, I wonder.
Of the,
American,
oh, the ARC, that's what we.
It should have all went out to everybody, because the state has been, I said, yeah, but I said it's been sending out all the roads.
I said, well, it's just rest supervisors, maybe they send it to everybody.
Normally those departments send,
Yeah,
because they get, because just like Jessica said, the new voting equipment, there's.
I'm trying to find it on my computer. I can't
well, I'll
find
send it to you.
Oh, yeah, there's tons, I mean,
it. Some.
yeah, there's tons of stuff, and it's just the parameters is what we got,
Yeah.
which, they're pretty broad at the end of the day.
If you follow this link, it's a page that has a webinar to watch, all these resources, all these documents, like, if we have how to calculate revenue loss, so if we did have revenue loss, then we can edit it for buildings, things like that. So that's why I just wanna, there's the whole thing, there's a lot.
There's a lot in there, that's what, I mean,
Well, we don't want to lose sight of, man, we gotta grab what we can, that's.
that, well, yes, and that's why I said that,
Good.
that's our job,
Thank
to
you.
come up.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, nice to meet you.
You too.
Matt Falls,
Yes.
you're gonna be my neighbor someday down the road,
I
it sounds like.
am.
Well,
That's good.
Hopefully sooner.
I know you, I
Yeah.
said hello to you,
Yeah,
Mr.
you got plans,
But he did,
to
I kind of
start
employee
this
upset
fall.
about insurance, not I, but listen,
Maybe
I
get
know
a job
what you
this
need.
fall.
I
Well, when you see me out there by the barn stop
Not,
now,
I was trying to help you out with that.
Yes.
Sometimes it takes a ball back.
Oh, yeah, so, but, it's like,
Shock therapy on that one.
oh. So that is nice, I met you, so I've seen you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much, nice to meet you. All right, you guys have a good day.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You dyed your hair?
We'll call back to her, we lost Jessica, she had to go at 11, I was trying to get there, but I couldn't get it done fast enough. So come on up, Liz.
Okay.
So I'm here to talk about the applications for 2021. So these are collected through our office for homestead, military, the disabled veterans homestead, and the business property tax credit. They all have a due date of July 1st. So we collect all the applications, make sure that they're, eligible, and then I have a recommendation to you guys to which ones should be allowed and which ones should be disallowed. So on the homestead, to get that, it has to be your primary residence, and you have to live there at least 6 months out of the year. You can't have anything else that you are claiming homestead on. So we had 264 that we're recommending that are allowed, and then there are 4 that I'm gonna recommend disallowance on. The reason, it's a little bit more than what we normally have had, but we have added the ability to sign up for all of these applications online. So you get a few more that they, usually before we were sending them out or they were coming in, and through our conversations, maybe they decided they didn't want to apply. This way they're just submitting them, and so anyway, the 4 that I have for that, I have the reasons listed out why they don't qualify. One of them is getting it on another property, one of them, the property is not in their name. I've got a reason on each of them. The owner is not currently living in the house, so all of those things are necessary. So that's the homesteads. The military, we usually don't have many that we don't, that we have this issue. There were 23 that we allowed on, and there was one where someone was not, you have to have had some active duty. So we sent it down, they have to provide some documentation. We sent it to Jenny, and she recommended that we disallow, because they have only been in for training, not for any.
As I said, it's pretty rare that they get turned down.
Yeah.
Yes, yep, so there's one of those. We have 10 disabled veterans that applied for this year. That credit is a disabled veterans homestead credit, and if they're 100% permanent or totally disabled, they qualify for this, and again, they have paperwork through the VA. Those folks don't have to pay property tax from here forward. So,
really?
yes. Yep, so this is a credit. Years ago, there wasn't really very many people that qualified. I would say I can get the total number, but 10 in 1 year is a lot. I would say we're probably up to almost 30 that don't, that they qualify under this now.
That's just for the residents, right?
You can get it on, yes, it would be on your primary residence. It's a homestead credit, so it has those same requirements. Have to live there at least 6 months out of the year. Can only be your full
Question on
residence.
so if they got 6,000 acres,
It's limited to 40. So it can be, yeah,
40 is nice.
That's great.
I thought it
yeah,
was just gonna be the house.
no, it's limited to their, so.
Right.
They have to go through a lot of hoops to get.
They do, and the paperwork that they have to have, they've been through a lot, so,
It's a lot,
yeah.
years.
Yeah. And then the other one would be business property tax credit, and that we have a few of those this time to disallow. There's 5 of them that are from telecommunication companies, and this kind of happens statewide where they got a little confused thinking that they needed to sign up now. There was a bill passed where all of these certain telecommunication properties were centrally assessed, not assessed by the local assessor. and they changed it where it's going to be locally assessed for 2022. Yes, so we have to find all the old
Yeah.
buildings like that and assess them. But at any rate, they kind of jumped the gun and they all applied. Somebody must have, in their organization, said, hey, you guys need to get this business property tax credit. Well, it's one more year for them of being centrally assessed, so they don't qualify.
They gonna beat up the railroads too then?
I am not.
And that was for telecommunications.
It
Like-
is,
Like that telephone building over there.
yes, like the buildings. They were all, so central assessed, like railroads are also centrally assessed, and basically they report it to the Department of Revenue, and then it's divided amongst.
We still receive the remittance for it, but it's.
We
just-
do, but it's
just
not-
a big hub and then it's
Yes,
scoped out. Okay.
Yep, so I have a few on disallowed. I should tell you that all of these people have been told by my office that they would not probably likely qualify for this credit. So they will not be surprised when they receive a letter from the supervisor saying we
Are we
disallowed.
allowed to see them?
Oh, yeah. Actually,
I'm more concerned about the disallows.
Oh, crap.
The
I will-
the people that are allowed, I will pick them, the disallows, I'm like,
I brought a whole set or maybe I left it. I have a whole set, you can look at these, but then I also have a whole set that I will get to whoever is gonna write the disallow, letters. And then there was one, there was one other business property tax credit where they signed up online and the property was residential, so they didn't qualify for it due to the classification. So basically, what I'm looking for is a motion to approve like all of the credits that were eligible based on my recommendation, and then you would need to also
disallow.
the ones that you disallow.
You want a separate motion for the disallowed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to accept the ones that Liz has recommended us to accept.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And for the disallowed.
Motion to,
Disallow.
approve the
You
disallows.
approve. Motion to say yes to the no's.
Right.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
That's it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I have, I will get a copy, Brandy, to you guys. I have a copy of all of them, so, and they say each one says on there, like, what the reason was, so if you need that.
Type it up officially.
I don't know if you guys wanna briefly talk about Beacon, or if you have time, or,
I don't know, but
I
I
mean,
think it's neat, but I'm
yeah, it's
saying-
not on the agenda, I was just gonna say.
No, I don't, it's fine.
Okay.
I mean, if somebody has questions or,
Yeah, I just thought, this is still the developmental phase of it, so I sent it to you guys and I wasn't sure if you forwarded it to anybody else, so I forwarded it to like some department heads and then said,
Yep.
disperse, like, look at it, if you
Check
don't,
it out.
check it out. I can either field the questions or like the concerns about it, or I can get them to the developers if it gets to that part, you know, wanting something different on there. It is a little different, if you were used to our other GIS site, it takes a little bit of
it wasn't
time.
that partial to the other one.
No, I mean, honestly,
I mean,
it's harder probably for me than it is for it definitely is harder for me than the taxpayer, because it is very user friendly for those that don't know how to use it. But if you did know how to use our existing one, then this is just a little bit of a, how do I find that same information? But they plan to have that Beacon Day. That first one, I think, just needs to be like internal,
right,
because before we go public, this is your guys' thing, so I'm just coming up with ideas, you tell me if you wanna do it differently, but, so I think like, do the internal one, so that we all feel like we understand how it works.
so you get questions and you can.
So then, like, once it goes public, we can also have a public one where like, hey, any of the realtors or any of.
You gotta know how to drive the car before you can sell it.
Yes, so I was looking at like the 4th or the 5th is when Beacon mentioned that they could come here.
That'd be great.
and they could do it both days. I don't know how much interest there is from internal folks to, I'm sure the auditor's office will have some people that wanna do it.
Secondary.
Maybe engineer.
Engineer will have-
Everybody,
Yeah, I would think everybody, but I don't know. Like,
Engineer,
Mhm.
sheriffs, I think everyone should.
I haven't really heard from anyone
Right.
that whether or not they wanted, what,
And you may not.
other than you.
Yeah, they may
You
have
said the
that.
fifth works better, which is great to know, like I can, schedule it for that day, and I think it could be,
Will it take a whole day?
no,
Okay.
no.
Can you do it first thing in the morning?
I could do it in the morning on either day. I mean,
Okay.
I have a
Morning
appointment
is
in the
better.
afternoon. Yeah.
Like at 8 a.m. or
Yeah,
like 9
yeah,
a.m.
that's fine.
8 a.m.
I just,
Okay.
And I do the-
That helps me with my schedule.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's,
What was the date?
I figured it out.
August 4th or 5th. And I actually also there are links on their website that will, do tutorials, if you're more into watching a video rather than having a live person show you, but I think I did better, with having someone show me how to do it, so,
and we should bring like our, like
I think it would
iPad, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, cause I looked up the iPad
He's
yesterday.
probably, I haven't talked to exactly how he plans to teach it, but I think it's better if you can play along with him. Personally, like, I do better,
Hands-on.
Yes, and then I do have a few, I have a couple laptops that I can bring over for if somebody doesn't have one or something like that, so. But yeah, then we'll plan to try to do a public one after we get all up and going, if you guys want to, but I think it'd be nice to offer it to some people. They may not be interested, because they might be like, well, we know how to use Beacon because we use it everywhere else that we sell.
That could be,
Or that we
realtors
love.
especially.
Yes, or that we.
Because I happened to find, I looked up something in Poweshiek County the
Yeah.
other day, and on Beacon, before I
Yeah.
knew there wasn't even a Beacon.
Yeah, I went to a meeting this past week, and the Poweshiek County assessor, I was talking to her, and she's like, thank God, you finally got that, cause she's just, she's like, I always wanna look up stuff, you're always trying to make sure you're comparable, you're, we share Victor, just trying to make
Getting out of the
sure.
dark ages.
Yeah, she's like, oh, this will be a lot easier,
Hey, how
so.
does that work with Victor? You guys close? That'd be kind of funny.
If we what?
If you're close in values,
Yeah.
from one side of the street to the other.
Well, I talked to them, and then, I also talked to, we share a little tiny bit of North English.
North English is
Yeah,
Cherokee Hill.
yeah, so I talked to him, and we were actually, our statistics were the same, like, he was raising about the same as we were this last time, so. Anyway, so that's all I know about finance.
Awesome.
Alright. But can I have those, or
No.
once you get through that, I'll let you, keep looking, but I want the originals back, and then I thought I brought those copies.
Is it okay if we just give them to Brandy? Or you want somebody to bring them over?
No,
No, that's fine, actually, John has to sign
Oh, yes,
on some of
okay.
those, and,
I can bring them over.
if you'll sign them and bring them
Yep.
over, and then I will,
I'll bring them over.
you know what, this is her copy, I have them, these are all one set, these are Brady's copy, and then
Okay.
this was just a copy of them. This, I should have noticed where it says disallow copies. Okay, yeah, pass this down to Brady, that is her set.
And you get them back?
Alright.
Thanks, Lisa.
Yep, see you guys.
All right. Finish it.
Going back to that art thing really quick,
Yes.
you saw it, email from Keith about one of us is supposed to fill out that survey,
Yes. Exactly.
just to designate somebody, do you wanna do that, do we do it, someone else wanna do it?
Not yourself.
Okay.
I was just gonna ask about it, I got it up right now looking at it. You're gonna do it?
Yeah, I'll do it,
Okay.
if you willing,
No, just have at it.
about that, anything my concern? Excuse me?
We need to go in the drainage district.
No, no,
Discuss it.
no, we shouldn't, because we're just approving it.
Yeah, because we have to come out to approve it.
We're just going to it.
No, I mean, we can't decide in drainage district.
Right, we have to come out to approve it,
So
so,
we don't have to go in since we're just approving it.
yeah.
This is like who's on first. Anyway, my concerns, whatever Lou says, it's all covered in there.
Right. Which is what we were waiting on, basically, so. Is there a motion to accept the drainage district contract?
So moved.
Second.
Lou said it's all good.
Yep.
Yep.
Did you get the same? Okay, all those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign, motion carries. Liquor licenses, yep,
I make a motion to approve the liquor licenses.
all those in favor,
Second.
there we go. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign, motion carries. Building maintenance,
That, my thing's done. But for claims, do you have a question?
okay,
This cable bill is going down to 18.
Well, that's a good catch, you know, because I'm in discussion with them again, I found that out, here's the copies of the bill, so we'll bring those back again.
So you're gonna try to get that 83
Yeah.
knocked out?
I'm trying to get back the money that we should have gave back months ago.
Yeah,
yeah, it's an ongoing saga.
Yeah,
okay.
I just got, that was just brought to my attention.
MediaCom should just be part of government.
And it's awful, because when I call somebody, I like to talk to them, because he doesn't answer, and then he'll call me back when I'm busy, and I can't answer him, and I miss him. So it's on a phone tag.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that I understood that correctly.
There's emotions beginning to come up. I'm getting mad. It should have been taken care of a long time ago. You told us
Is
it's
it 3
taken care
months?
of.
3 months instead of 2 months they paid it?
Okay, 3 months.
2 or 3, yeah.
Because, oh yeah, you have to pay this and credit you back. Okay, I don't know if you didn't do it. Catch on that, we're not, lowering it, but yeah.
Okay.
Good catch.
Alright. Scott is asked to come in, Kevin, what did he say, 15 minutes early, building maintenance?
Oh, yeah.
What now?
Scott wants to change his hours
To
to,
tweak his hours 15 minutes earlier, leave 15 minutes earlier, so that's, what was the reason?
I don't remember now.
Did we get a response from Galloway on
We
that?
don't need to respond, he said.
So
He said it's not. He said that's a fluff letter and we don't need to respond to it.
So what about the buildings that we didn't include in the initial letter? Does he
He's
not?
still our employee and that's not up for debate.
What do you mean?
As far as his legal letter,
Well, when we,
so
when
I
the
knew
letter
him,
was sent to him, it said you will not take care of XXX
Yep.
buildings and some were missed. Is he no longer taking care of
no,
one?
he still will, cause he's still our employee, but it's just gonna be, it's just like the ambulance building. So when something happens, he's gonna have to fix it. But his focus is gonna remain on
The list of buildings.
the list of buildings that we have. So that, but we,
Our other buildings are as needed, except for the engineers, which
Right.
are supposed to be taken.
he's not gonna take on those projects like he was for the engineer on all those other things and, but he's still, building maintenance is still building maintenance and this is your primary focus, but when something happens, this is what you're gonna do. And it's,
So,
And it's still
so we don't have to clarify that with him?
it was reiterated that I don't care if the contractor wants to come in before your hours.
These are our hours.
These are your hours.
if they wanna meet with you and if they wanna did a job for us, these are your hours.
Yeah.
And this is,
That I agree.
which I know that makes it harder, it's easier, but
Keep a flow of who's here and who's not here. You've
Yeah.
gotta have more of a set hour.
right, you can't meet with somebody at 6 AM and then he's out for, 2 hours earlier in the day. This doesn't work.
I agree with that portion of it, but there's a list of buildings there that he inquired about, and those list of buildings then are,
Still his,
okay,
but the focus is, we just drew him back in because we had him going too many places. So we were losing focus on the main buildings. And so,
So what's the difference between the building that he focuses on and one that he doesn't? I guess, I'm confused.
As needed.
it's an as needed, I mean,
Isn't it as needed everywhere?
when things come up, but as far as daily activity, these are as daily activities. And that's,
Okay. I guess I'm still confused. And then was it clarified the project versus the individual
as on,
for getting bids and spending limits? The question was raised, does that apply for a whole project, or does that apply for each?
Each
Claim.
contractor.
each contractor and
So
claim.
that was clarified to him somehow,
Yes,
via letter?
no, we didn't give him a letter. Do you want him to have a letter?
I'm just not
I mean,
confused as to what's
he's-
on, so you.
He
you
has to
call him?
understand, I went down a mountain.
Okay, I'm in the
Right.
dark, I don't know, I'm been
Yeah.
uninformed about
Yes,
it.
I just did it this week, so, because we didn't have time last week, so Kevin and I went down and we told him, you know, I discussed that letter that we had from his attorney, and said, my attorney said, we're not answering that, because there's no reason to.
Okay.
Period. You're an employee, this is your task, and that's how it's gonna be handled.
I just would prefer to give him a response in writing, so that way it's documented, because the whole point of that meeting was to document it. Then with Jessica being there, you know, Jessica,
That was a disciplinary meeting versus just a daily task meeting.
I still think we should document his parameters.
No, because then you're under a contract with what he can and can't do.
Then you just constrict it,
Yeah. And that's not what that job entitles.
because then you're gonna say, well, it doesn't on my list.
It's like, well, no, I can't do that now, because you didn't do that, and it's,
But if you make the list
those things are
comprehensive-
still on the table for building maintenance, which answers to this department.
Secondary roads aren't just maintainer operators, they're employees.
Right.
So if they're not running their escalator, or their
Maintainer.
maintainers, I mean, they're gonna sit around and do nothing, no, they're an employee of the county. It's-
They're
that's-
mowing
that's
ditches,
needed.
or they're,
That's why you don't want to
trimming
constrict it
trees
too
or-
far, otherwise you're limited to what you can make them do.
Well, I'm not talking about like duties, but more about like the rules, like the spending limits and stuff like that, having that documented. Cause it seems like there was,
what did we put in the board minutes?
It was in the board minutes.
I mean, we can look that up from the board minutes, but Jessica gets, I don't want you to begin like that, but there should be something that we discussed that day,
And the other thing that,
because we approved it.
the other thing that may come up in the future, which was discussed, that you guys need to think about, is the pickup use.
Yes.
He asked
the what now?
Pickup.
use, if he could drive it home from November
It's
first
November first,
to March first,
right, snow time.
which, I don't know. I can kinda go either way on that, but I think that.
So the debate was, is if he snowed in at home,
He can't get it to clean, get the
he
snow out.
cause a couple of times this year when it was bad enough, he had to plow his way here to get here to get everything opened.
But that's something you can, to me, you should think about.
And I don't think we need, yeah, cause like I said, he went from November first to March first or whatever, and I think that might be a little overkill, so.
So are we gonna discuss that as a board?
Yes,
Decide?
That's what I'm asking you to do.
that's what he's asking me right now, that's what he's saying is, that was, and we don't have to decide on that right now, cause it's obviously November. But it's something that he wanted us to consider, which he thought that he had to pick up originally when he got hired, and he did not.
No. Cause that was added.
It was added
Later.
later.
Yeah, I saw that in the minutes and like,
And so, it just comes down to what we're comfortable with as a board. Because that's, I mean, this is constantly what we get into is, when you give a privilege, then,
Sometimes it gets, maybe abused, but you
so,
can't say
we have to
that.
figure out where we're gonna be happy with that as a board.
Because, you know, other people have to make it into work.
Right.
Not so well, so there's that point of view. But
Right.
people aren't coming here at 5 in the morning to,
Motor grader operators don't get their, so it's,
well, actually, some of them do.
yes.
So I can use that as an example.
Not all of them, but that's what our,
That's what you, I want everybody's opinion.
Right.
To think about. Because I don't think.
and there's gonna be other things that come up that we're gonna have to, you know.
that we'll discuss.
You don't know the problem.
Yeah, because I mean,
until it
this
comes
is, building maintenance has been an issue
wouldn't be better off going to salary, just to
Right.
keep it cleaner. I think that, instead of this comp time worrying about,
It's an ugly process. I'm not against it, I don't know. Because then you are gonna be looking at a bigger salary to start. Cause now I'm on duty 24/7. You know what I mean?
And then is he restricted to hours because of salary?
Right, that's where you,
Salary and unrestricted hours.
you know what I mean? Cause then you get into,
Boss.
I'm always at work.
Jessica?
Or you're in,
I'm playing devil's advocate.
it's, yeah.
I think if you're still an employee of the board, I think you still can do set hours and be salaried. You're still an employee, it's not like,
It's just something to think about because what is black and white to you isn't to everybody else.
well, we have to look into it.
Which is
Right.
illegal.
Which I'm fine with, which that's why we're discussing it.
Yeah, I'm not telling you no, I'm just telling you this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think with the
As it
headache
gets
of this
into
comp time and combining with
hour
the
sheets.
calls, and it might just be a better,
Yes, cause I we get,
I guess I always thought it was a salary position before I came on board, but it isn't. It never has been.
it used to be.
it used,
With who?
with who? Kate or, no?
Scott was?
No, because of,
Don't,
Okay,
I don't think so.
I
I
can't,
don't remember taking that away.
I'll look into it.
I don't wanna say we probably took it away if we did.
It gets into legal issues on, because we had that same conversation with conservation on salaried employees versus. wages.
Exempt and non-exempt.
Right, which is, you need a lawyer to try to figure out exempt versus not exempt.
Yeah, what you think is right isn't always right, it's
Yeah, that's
confusing,
enough.
Or what you think is common sense doesn't turn out to be, and so.
it doesn't work.
But yeah, no, I don't think anybody's against it if we can make it work.
As long as you can set the parameters we have already
Right,
for the hours.
cause
You
yeah,
don't say, well, 2 hours, it doesn't matter on salary.
yeah, if they come in at 2 AM to plow snow for 6 hours and then. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's a good thing for us to discuss and contemplate and
I think, yeah.
look into, cause I mean, the department as a whole has been, needs, yeah.
It needs some attention.
It's interesting, no matter who's been there since I've been around.
Like I said, for the last 20 years. Just ballparking.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll think about it and look
Yeah.
into some things.
That's what, so, but the 15 minutes, cause you wanna get the buildings unlocked and get down, maybe we should look into automatic locks with our art money,
Yeah,
see if it's I'm serious, I mean,
that would, yeah.
I don't know, cause it could be under availability for,
That could be, we show revenue loss.
well, and access to, for the public and, yeah.
What was that quote, 10,000?
5, was
Five
it?
or 10?
5 or 6?
For an automatic lock.
Yeah, on the doors.
I'm,
I'm just saying, if you can use rescue plan money and it didn't cost us anything, then,
I'm just worried about how we work.
well, other quarter, I
I'm just
mean,
gonna run around and check them every day, make sure they work.
well, thankfully, the people that walk into work there also have keys if they don't work.
yes, right, which,
Wait, they-
that's just a topic for another day.
Wait, they don't have them now?
You can put that on your art list. So, but, what does the board wanna do about the 15 minutes?
So,
Because my question to
Now it's
him
7.
was, so if you're in
7:45
15,
and 4:15, so it'd be 7 to 4.
and I said somebody has to be here to close,
Wait, no, it'd be, wait,
7:45, right, to 4:15?
right,
isn't that what it is right now?
right, but he wants to switch it to
7:30?
7:30 to 4.
Right. But I wanna make sure somebody's here to close, and that's, and he assured us that there would be, right? 'Cause
That's what he said.
one works
It
3
closes
days,
what, 4:30?
yeah. So, that will not change.
So it's 8 to 4:30, right? Is that what the hours are? I don't even know what the hours for the courthouse are.
8 to 4:30, yeah.
Okay.
And so they will still address, locking and unlocking.
So what happens if both the employees are off?
Somebody's gonna have to address it.
It's his responsibility,
Okay,
It's their responsibility.
because we ask you, you can make sure that it's covered.
That's right. Yeah, there was almost a day last month where everybody was on vacation at the same time.
Just,
And nobody seemed to think that was a problem.
I suppose it's okay.
Yeah.
Let's say, it's not permanent, we're not making it
We're
permanent.
gonna get automatic locks through the American Rescue. We're gonna solve it once and for all. We're gonna do it over here too. Every building, put automatic locks on.
I'm fine with locking and unlocking.
Hey, I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
well, lies,
some
might
people
be
like
like
the
this.
security of walking up to a locked door and opening it for the first time in the morning.
in there
versus
anyway.
You get here and your door's already unlocked and you're like,
Yikes, who's in here?
right? I mean, that's just, so, but I just, yeah, so, it was just something to throw out there, see what,
that's fine, probably.
yeah. I'm sure we'll have many more discussions.
Yeah, okay.
Do we
Okay.
need that, we don't need
I
a
don't think we
motion?
need it as a motion. Cause you're just directing the employee what time to
Okay.
come and go. And that can be changed, if it's not working, we'll revisit it.
Yeah,
And then what you guys think on that snow plow thing, which we've
Yeah,
hopefully got it here too, think about that, but,
That's a lot of snow for the first of November, first of all.
right, yeah, and
can it be as
maybe we can do it as
needed?
forecast,
As
you know,
forecasted?
I mean,
Well, yeah.
and yeah, you're gonna miss, but, I mean, surely we're not gonna miss a blizzard. I mean, that's. Don't call me
You
Shirley.
never know. So,
Alright, next. There were plans, indoor management, nothing, Hartford Township trustee.
Do I have to approve that indoor management plan or do we?
No,
Sure.
that's
Just
just.
a chair note,
Okay. It's what?
just a chair note.
Okay.
They've been filed, and they can just keep spending it.
So do we have anybody that wants to,
Well, I was texting somebody and she gave me a couple different people, but I don't even know if they're even in the township.
Oh, she wasn't one of them?
She's out. AJ Snappy.
Yeah.
Like, well organized, it's like, yeah, but she gave me a couple people that I would have to do some homework to see if they're even interested or if they're even in the township, so,
That's what I was looking here earlier.
yeah. But she's a
in the
hard,
back, it tells you.
she is a
what
hard no.
township it is.
so that's probably not something that we can address today anyways, right?
Right,
No,
yeah,
they-
no,
they
I
can
just
see
wanted to
it
bring it up
on
because
the
it's on
state.
there. Courthouse cleaning bid,
Yes, we got that back. It is pricey.
told you.
But yeah, but I don't know if we wanna get different quotes. We can do
What,
that, but
so-
it's $4,413.47 for the 2 entrances into the common area and then just the staircase to go upstairs. 'Cause
What are they doing for this?
supposedly everything, like everything but waxing the floor. 'Cause they
That
don't-
didn't include waxing the floor, cause like normally at the church they wax the floor for that,
Yeah,
and it's less than that.
and who does that?
I think it's Serve Pro now, or,
I don't know if they said it looks like it's been a long time, and Scott said it's been a long time since anything's been done, so they might have to use extra.
Did you get the other bids?
That's what I'm saying, I think maybe we should probably look at,
Oh, they have to,
yeah,
because, I mean, that's what we're telling every other department to do.
yeah. So that was my plan, was to have Scott tell him to go get some more bids.
I'm not for sure if I'm getting on $4,000.
Yeah, if it was like a wow, maybe, like it lasted.
I don't think you're getting a wow
If
factor
we
in the
can
courthouse.
get a
I don't think we're gonna get a wow factor, so that's where I'm at.
I mean,
If we can figure out next fiscal year some type of budgeting for courthouse repair, maybe it could fall in under that. It's a lot,
It is a lot,
cause if we do some type of a capital expense or repair on that, it's all gonna be.
for not.
It'll be all for naught.
yep, I agree.
Yeah, if you do that basement wall
So
like
if
we
I can
talked about.
find somebody that would quote like $1,000?
If you find a 4-H club that wants to clean it, that'd be awesome.
That's your department.
I did that with the attic.
Yeah, so you can do
We
it.
did it, no, my club is out, but we
That was awesome, we threw away, they had toilets upstairs.
5 toilets in the attic that did not work.
They weren't good enough to use, but we stored them in the attic.
But we broke them, took them out, took them to the attic.
That was awesome.
You might ask why, but there's no reason to ask why, we just do it. Cause I don't know, and the bats did not use it while they were out there, just so you know, if you're curious.
Well, what are you wanting done to these stairways? Are you gonna want them polished?
Yeah, and all the dust knocked off. If you, and like the chandelier that hasn't been cleaned in probably.
But, you know, that should be things that could be done.
That's a lot though. I mean, there's a lot of square footage to cover.
Yeah.
You would have to have it, someone special once a year just do it, I think. There's a lot. I mean, all the polishing that would have, yeah.
But like you said, if you're gonna tear out that plaster stuff in the
Windows.
basement, you just wasted all your money.
Yeah,
If you're gonna get it down with brick and do that, that dust will be everywhere.
Yep,
exactly.
I think we just,
Okay.
You can try it, but I don't think it's gonna work, until you get the other part done.
I like the idea and the attention being given to it, that's for certain,
Yeah.
to get it
I just wanna look
improved.
into it, see how much it would cost. Yeah.
That's a lot more than I
Hold
thought.
on. Eastern Iowa tourism invoice, are we still interested in this?
You guys do it every year.
We had,
No.
we dropped it.
We dropped it,
They lobbied against us.
yeah,
They did what now?
They lobbied against us.
yeah.
For what?
The
Yeah,
hotel
man,
motel.
it's a
Oh,
hotel,
that
motel.
Yeah, so,
I would imagine, okay.
Once they decided to lobby against us, that we're paying them money to lobby against us, it didn't seem very good.
so we kind of said, sorry, thanks, we're out.
So, what does this even get you if you do?
That is the question.
A magazine.
We haven't figured it out yet. I was on that committee and we never did have a meeting. I mean, when we did.
When you were doing Eastern Iowa, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was a committee to be on.
That's true.
All right, so, is there any interest in that?
Do we make a motion to decline it, or do we make, it's a non-action item? Okay. They just send you the bill, they're not asking, they're just, here's the bill.
There's nothing with it that says what they do, so I'm.
No. Pretty sure we have I-80 coming through, so the tourism is gonna keep coming right on through.
I'd say decline it at this point in time,
Is that a motion?
yes.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign, motion carries. Anything?
There is that claim is for H Avenue's on here now. We have.
I saw that
we have-
during the meeting for what the engineer was talking about, the insurance.
Yes.
Piece of rock,
We got it during the meeting, so.
by somebody else.
Right,
Can you prove it's on
but it was our rock, I'm sure of it. So, okay.
Did you have Board of Health?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I only asked because
Good.
somebody called me with a question.
Was there a meeting?
Yes. I have 2 meetings, actually. I have 2.
Didn't see any minutes from it.
I do mine, I had Clear Creek Watershed Day tonight, which we will be going into, doing, bidding some new packages. I think this last package is about 106,000, which is all Iowa County projects, so, in the Clear Creek Watershed. Some grade stabilization, rock chutes, wetland prairie restoration, wetland restoration and rock chute and a waterway, for a total of 106,000 on those. And mental health also, and, mail
It's a
here
sanitary-
next
it's a
week.
sanitary report.
On mental health, we'll talk about that more than. With the new state funding and how we spent 4.5, let me see. A 51-page agenda. For 4.8 million out of our 5.7 million CARES Act that we got through, that was our CARES final report. And the big topic will be, we're gonna have 3 to 10 million that we have to spend. Which is good and bad, but it's so that we get our ending fund balance down. And,
For this fiscal year?
no, for next fiscal year.
Okay.
And so we'll, which Marilyn Lawson, she's gonna contact Janine already to see if there's projects that we can do, but it'll be the last year of special projects, that we can do. Because with the new state law, Senate File, 619, if we stay above our ending fund balance, then the state's gonna come in and take our taxpayers' money, which there's not a soul on our board that's in favor of that. And so, we will not let that happen, but we have to come up with a way to use the money through mental health, and, there's projects that we can do, and there's funding that we can do for children through schools, there's all kinds of avenues, but those are the numbers that we're looking at right now. That's conservative. Because we're way over budget, because the state's gonna allocate this money, and we already had money in reserves, because obviously that's what we had to have. And they didn't allow for any of that. So they, it's again, put us in a nice corner. And if you don't use it, then we're taking it, put them back in the general fund, which they will have no problems doing. So, but May will be in here next week to go over, the Central Region update and everything, and Maryland's contract will be up, as our liaison. So they'll be here next Friday, and we'll go over that in some more detail, but I just wanna give everybody a heads up on what we.
Can money, some of that money could still be given to like the new place in Iowa City?
Yes, access centers, yeah,
Yes.
there's all kinds of, because we've been opposed to bricks and mortar in the past.
Right.
I mean, there's jail diversion programs, there's psychiatric help, there's all kinds of different avenues that we could.
We already contribute to, city?
Yes,
Yeah, rather than,
Yeah.
we didn't contribute.
we didn't to Cedar Rapids,
Or Benton either,
We
Yeah,
did,
because Maryland said our people always went to Iowa City.
right. But now it's gonna be more of a whole region type thing once the state funding kicks in.
Well, that's good, because that'd be a
Yeah.
good way not to lose it if we.
Right, and so, but we'll have this money that, and so we're gonna have to try to figure out how to address that at the same time, because it's, yes, they took it away from because it's a levy on our property tax right now, but we absolutely don't want our property taxes going to the state. So,
You seen that?
no,
So the one sheet is
so that'll be a bigger deal next year.
Sherry Alexis.
Sherry Less's report. That's the minutes. Becky, I can't say her last name, no watch.
No one check.
Thank you. She
That
presented.
says May 19th.
These are the minutes from their last, they probably don't have the minutes
We
from.
don't have the other ones that are like
Okay.
COVID-19 report, every other week, about what, 10 people all she always gets, that are ready for shots?
Right, yeah.
And but now they're allowed to waste shots if they, so if you only get 3 people come in, you can still give the 3 shots and you just have to give it to the rest.
Mm-hmm.
They allow you to do that. And I got an annual report, I think you've already seen that, right?
I do have a copy of that one. Yep. I do, yep, I think so.
Vacation recap, so now they're recapping the vacation time.
Yes,
And
because she's well over.
well over, so they can pay that out. Can we get that, we can get that out of COVID money, right?
I would think so.
Should be able to, because it's COVID related.
Yep.
And then the other question
She's
I had,
167 hours over her cap.
I guess the other question you brought up, and I didn't understand that, so, how do I explain it to you? So let's say you give them $100 in donations.
Oh, I got that thing covered, Jessica.
Oh,
So they just need an expense, so they had a donation from somebody that their brother passed away, and he gave a donation, or they took the memorials in for the health department, and they want it used for like supplies, towels, so, because they go into, one example she gave is they go into one guy's house and he has one towel.
He has one towel.
So they have to actually do laundry before they can bathe him. And so, they wanna be able to use the memorial funds But as it stands now on their budget, they have a line item for that, but that's an income line. They don't have an expense.
They don't have expense lines come out.
So we just had to I came over and talked to Jessica the other day about that, how to get that set so that they can
Take it back out.
take it back out once they bring it in and somebody, cause normally, and it was a couple $100 or something like that.
$250 or something.
$250, something like that. Normally they get $20, $30 here or there, and it's not, but
And what do they do with it then?
they just send it
It was
in.
the general fund, they can't get it back out.
The little donations,
Right.
Yeah,
like, are they, like cash donations, like somebody gives them,
Memorials.
memorials or, somebody sends them a thank you and puts money in because they did something, and so then they just come to the auditor's office as a donation and it just goes back into the general fund.
okay.
But they
And
didn't
they don't
know
buy
how
towels
to-
and some cleaning supplies and what they.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that Heritage wouldn't help with some problems like that too.
Sure.
You know, I mean, that, you know, so that's good to know.
Well, and she brought up the fact that maybe they could put out an ad or something for, she don't wanna turn it into Goodwill, but,
Right.
you know, if somebody has a bunch of towels and stuff that they don't
They
need.
really didn't ask for clothes, it's just towels.
Towels are cleaning supplies, basically, that, you know,
They
some
want to
stuff,
spend money on, if they don't have
Yeah.
it, yeah.
you know, and, yeah, if you have, sometimes people have pass away and they have 50 towels in the, you know, cupboard that are new or gently used that they could use and so. Yeah.
Did they say anything about the COVID test pickup location thing?
Did you get that sheet? I had a sheet bring,
What is it? What is?
COVID test, what?
that test Iowa kit that you can pick up.
Hold on, I got that.
Had a sheet to bring.
What do I do with it? It's.
Is it
Oh, here.
Yeah, pass that around. And they asked me to come just because there was new board members and they wanted to know the process between budgeting versus, so I went, sat in off to the side and I explained how the board works with this board, or, how the budget process is and how that, and so that's why I was there. But that was the test.
Are they
I
gonna
had
be registered to be a pickup site then? Do you know,
for the,
kids?
I believe so.
They are registered?
Isn't that what you said, Kevin, that they can get them? That's what,
I just didn't know, cause they weren't on the list yet, someone asked me if they were gonna sign up, and I'm like, I don't know.
I believe so, that's why she handed us that sheet, cause that's why I wanted to bring it to the board, so you guys could see it.
Okay, they were on the website, but they didn't, there's nobody in Iowa County, no entity in Iowa County yet, so.
I believe that's what that sheet was about. so
Okay.
It may not just be done yet, but that was what that whole process was about, that they test Iowa kids or how it would be available.
Yep.
So,
Someone called me and asked, I said, I don't know, I asked it.
so hopefully,
So. And then radio governors board meeting, which, a lot of stuff they talk us
are you still governing the radio?
over my head. They talk about frequencies and they had a problem out earlier, they keep updating the system.
Mm-hmm.
And then the updates are always working, they had to revert back to the original settings. They kept losing range in areas.
I said, I don't know.
So it's basically when you have updated phone, it messes everything up.
Yeah. Some of the updates don't work.
Okay.
That's a 20-minute meeting.
That you understand nothing about.
Every week I get a little, or every time I get a little bit more. The discussion between Iowa County and Washington County and Topeka County, who's using what towers.
And this claims like for, Chris and Matt, Sherry's was a grants to county reimbursed.
Yeah,
And
Chris
Chris's was approved by his board for. And
The other one's a sticky wicket.
Now Sherry is done and.
Team account.
She's done there.
She's done, isn't she?
Yeah. She said she still gets a few calls.
still gets
but-
phone calls, but that's what
Well,
happens
that's all right.
when you're good at what you do.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, it's no problem helping somebody else. But she had no problem with it, I guess she was.
Alright, does anybody got anything else?
but could you just clarify? I know you guys have the final decision on
Yes.
whatever's decided, but are you getting community input on?
We are getting community input right now. I mean, and we still
Are
have,
we putting together a team, or you don't know yet?
it's up for debate yet,
Okay,
but we're still taking input from people like you.
well, I don't have the input on that, but I know people that want to have input on that, so. Also, I just got an email from somebody asking about the public forum, and how do they get on the agenda to address something, if they wanna, like.
Call any of us or call Jessica, I mean,
The auditor's
And
office.
just get on the
Yep.
forum, okay.
yep, she'll ask me and we'll put it on the agenda.
He sounded like he was just gonna show up and address you, and I thought, that's not gonna work.
He can before and after the meeting.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, we're
that's a
always-
question at the end,
yeah.
but he actually wants a discussion on, he probably needs to get on the agenda.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. I have names for that committee, if you ever do put one together.
And if, in the meantime, if they have ideas, just have them email us at least.
I will.
Yep.
Okay. I'm just glad they're interested. That's a good thing.
We just don't wanna lose that money, we wanna make
Right,
sure
oh,
we
we
get
will.
that money
Yeah.
spent.
We will.
Yeah.
That's like $3.
Yeah, it's weird,
It's,
It is.
Well, that's, do you guys know all the towns are doing it, for the townships? I mean, you know, the money they can get for just the town?
do we know how much?
Do you know if they're all doing it?
Well, that,
That kinda came up
I was
earlier,
trying to
but
find.
that,
I
cause
would hate to see them lose that money.
I was, for some reason, somebody told me that Millersburg had an amount, but I need to ask.
Parnell should have an amount.
Cause then the Des
Everybody
Moines
should have
Register,
an amount,
that
isn't
Des
it?
Moines Register article had some town that was like 114 people, and they were getting like 18,000, which for a town of 113 people, 14 people, it's a good chunk of money.
Yeah,
So I kinda hate to see anybody miss out on that.
right.
What was,
Unfortunately, that money comes from somewhere. Unfortunately, that money comes from somewhere.
yeah.
Yeah, it's all taxpayer money and it's free, then yes.
Yeah.
So when I use that term loosely, that it's not coming out of our taxes.
Yeah.
I understand.
It is coming
It's
out of
all
our
coming out of
taxes,
our
but,
taxes, I
But
get
if
it.
other people don't take advantage of it, we might.
yeah. It's
Right,
It's
I
going
get that.
straight to New Orleans. if we
It's
don't
coming
use
out
it.
of the national taxes.
That's right.
Our local county tax.
But it's not on our, and so that's why, yeah. But,
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
that's that, we'll take that as a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And I think you were watching here to show your now. How'd you do? Was that your sister too? That's with you usually here?
Yeah.
How'd she do?
She got fourth.
Abby, did you see my son Joshua's Facebook post?
Yeah, about getting his physical.
Golf cart stalled and video.
Little competitive, huh?
Did it come back?
They got a video of him downtown rolling it.
If you're interested.
Downtown here.
Tame.
Oh, yeah.
3 kids stole it. They rolled the car right in the middle of the laundromat. It's on video.
High school.
Like,
So,
Or tipped it over, sorry.
Yeah, okay. I thought you meant like pushing it, rolling it,
No, no,
yeah.
no, like they turned the corner too
Oh
quick.
my gosh.
It'll go on
Take
YouTube.
over and ask her if it's-
Okay.
Yeah, this one I put the whole thing on last time, I just did it once.
That's what I was personally just.
Yes.
somebody wants to
Yep.
talk about.
Approved.
Yeah.
Um, They were together. They were together. We just
Yeah,
did them
yeah.
together.
Vicki?
Yes.
I want you to know, I was at that cemetery yesterday.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, with a friend from LA. They shot, so they found it.
Is that the guy that exploded?
He was in his friend's girl.
Oh, okay.
So it's a medical emergency.
Yeah.
I texted Liz to come early.
Yeah.
Those are. That would really mess it up.
Yeah, yeah.
How about CCG?
go in and sit down.
Talking about CCD. Yeah, it's a compact. Yeah,
It was just a.
I was like still trying to hurry, but my wife was in her car.
You know, they need Lauren Johnson, those hoops for CCD.
Yeah.
I thought you did six.
But she's so
She just
hard
told me here.
trying to get any.
She does, make it
Everything's such a-